Hare Krishna, Rukmani, Harisevni, Devi Mataji. Can you make me co-host?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please serve my humble obeisances.
Please accept mine also. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandas Pranam. You all have CBA test also today?
Yes, Mataji.
What time it is?
8 p.m.
8.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, it is in the night.
Yes, Mataji. 8 p.m. Yes, Mataji.
Otherwise, to attend the class, and then if it is immediately after that, then
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. I sent you this our schedule. Mataji, we have changed it now. Henceforward, we will have our CBS in the weekdays only. Previously, in the starting only, his Bimala Prasad Prabhu and his Sal Prabhu planned the schedule like this. But on the request of few devotees and everybody agreed, so we changed. But now we are seeing that it's really difficult to have this on the same day, the session, 3-hour session, and the CBA. So henceforward, just after the 1 or 2 CBA, 1 unit will be completed, and from the second unit onwards, we will have CBS in the weekdays and sessions on the weekends only.
Yeah. That's what I was also concerned, because we should focus nicely on the sessions. If in the
Yes,
back of mind we have CBA, then
Yes,
yeah.
Mataji. Yes, Mataji. In personal experience, I am also facing so much trouble, and so many devotees also was saying me the same thing. So we had a meeting and we changed everything.
Okay, good.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So I think we should not wait for more people. No? We should start.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah,
Devotees.
because otherwise, at the end, we are
Yes.
we are in crux. Okay, let's start prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha cha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Shri Krishna Bhagwan Ki Jai Hare Krishna everyone. I welcome all of you for this another beautiful chapter. So yesterday we had a wonderful prayers of Kunti Maharani. And, just a minute. I will just... Hare Krishna. So yesterday we had a beautiful chapter 8, prayers of Queen Kunti. And Prabhupada has written a complete book about these prayers. And you know the name of that book?
Prayers of Queen Kunti.
Yeah, Teachings of Queen Kunti.
Teachings of Queen Kunti.
So it is so nice, although it is a prayer from Kunti Maharani, but Prabhupada has translated it as Teachings of Queen Kunti. Like one more book is there, right? Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So whatever the great soul do at any point of time, it's a learning for us. With their every action, we learn, right? Today also, the passing away of Bhishmadev. We will see every, shlok has something for a learning for us. Very important. So we will see everything what a devotee does, this great soul does is amazing. It's amazing. So therefore, Teachings of Queen Kunti. It's a very beautiful book because Prabhupada has given many examples, trying to explain with complete realization and understanding what Kunti Maharani is telling to all of us actually, and what level she is in. Anybody remembers a one single point you can share from last what we discussed? What touched your heart? Something which you can apply, or something which you did not know.
Mataji, one verse, text 26. Janmashwarya Shruta Shivir Edhamana Madhapuman Never Hatya Vidhatum Vai Toma Kinchan Gocharam. Mataji, I really like this, and I apply this verse in my life. I, in the material world, I like so many things which is mentioned in this verse. So I think that if I have those things, and it's not sure because of my false ego, I might not be able to use in the service of Krishna. So if I'm not having this, it's a mercy of Krishna that I don't have, and I don't have that ego also. So it's a mother. So I personally apply this verse in my life like this. And one more verse, Mataji, Namo Pankaj Nabhaya, Namo Pankaj Maline, Namo Pankaj Netraya, Namaste Pankaj Angre. So I really like this verse, that how Kunti Maharani, she is being elder, like aunt and bua of Krishna. She's starting from the, Krishna's everything is, we don't have any another thing to say. So we say like lotus, we know the lotus is the best thing, so we compare and we say like take example of lotus. So Krishna's feet are lotus feet, lotus eyes, navel, so everything, and how she's starting from the navel and coming like, and how Prabhupada, you mentioned the one beautiful line you made me understand yesterday, that how she's starting, and anyways she's completing the round from navel to the face, then feet, like this. So I like this point, Mataji. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for reminding of these beautiful verses. Somebody else wanted to speak. You can raise your hand. I can see. If we share now, we remember it always. So if you get opportunity, we should share. Yeah, Anand Leela Mataji.
Hare Krishna. What was inspiring for me was it's very easy to say that one went through those hardships and say it as a story, but actually if we put ourselves in that situation, what were those hardships, and the way still, and she's explaining that being woman, I'm less intelligent, and glorifying the Lord even though she is the most intelligent one. The way she has put all these verses, she's glorifying the Lord, being in that paternal love also. So that was very, very inspiring, that she still seeked for the association and for the Lord to be present in her life all the time. And at the end, when she's saying that she wants all these affection of bond to be cut, to be tied, when she's explaining about Yadu and Vrishni dynasty, when she thinks about it, and then she realizes that actual relationship is with our service to the Lord.
Yes.
Even after going through so much hardships, it's not so easy. It's really something very commendable.
Yeah, correct. Thank you, Anandila Mataji, for your heartfelt sharing. It is true. If we keep in any one of the situation what she went through, it is like a disaster. It's a big thing. Yes, Priya Satyabhama Mataji.
Mataji, in continuation to what Anand Leela Mataji said, the realization that Kunti Maharani has after that, she needs to cut the bond of affection with the Yadus and the Vrishnis. So this is something maybe to learn from, that, we are entangled in how we need to free ourselves.
Yeah, we need to continue doing our duties, but at the same time, we have to develop connection and relation with the Supreme Lord. It should go together. We cannot leave our duties, and just doing duties is also waste of our human birth. So both the things. Yeah. Lakshmi Mahesh, Pakistan. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, it's Lakshmi.
Lakshmi, no? Yeah, the spelling today is LU, so I was like, yes.
Mataji, I like that part in which Uttara run towards Lord Sri Krishna. Although there were other elderly people like Yudhishthir and Arjuna, Bhim, all were there, but she took the shelter of Supreme Lord. So it says that we must always take the shelter of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna in every phase of life.
Yes. Thank you. So let's move ahead. You're all able to hear me now because I just changed into the speaker so that I can hear all of you very clearly. Thank you. So starting chapter 9, yesterday we saw in chapter 8, how at the end, Yudhishthir Maharaj was not happy. He was lamenting. In a dejected mood, he approached Krishna, sad. So Krishna stayed for some more days to pacify him. And he had a plan also. So, what plan he had? That we will see the reason. Today, the whole topic moves around Bhishma Dev today. And it is said that Bhishma Stuti is in chapter 9. But some acharyas says that it already started from chapter 8 in the mind and in the heart of Krishna. Everything he plans before, ahead of things which we cannot conceive. So Bhishma Dev. Now, considering the life of Bhishma Dev, let's see this map. This one. Little bit we have to go through this to understand his history, and he lived for 456 years. So many generations he lived with because of his promise. And what promise, what vow, we will see. So Bhishma is basically, let's start with, there was one king, his name was Mahabhish. Yeah, Mahabhish, and he was in the demigod's assembly. He was sitting, and Ganga Devi was serving water. So one time the dress blew off, and every demigod, they bow down their head not to see, but this king, he was seeing, and Brahma saw this, and Ganga Devi was also seeing him. He said, because of this offense, you have to go to earth. So that is the reason this king became Shantanu, and he got attracted to Mother Ganga, and then he wanted to marry, and she said, okay, but in one condition, whatever I do, you will not ask me, and you will not disturb me. If you ask, and if you stop me, I will go. And one more story, how there are things connected, there's one more story. There are these 8 Vasus. They went once to Vasishtha Muni ashram for having prasad. And then Vasishtha Muni served so nicely. We know why. There was a Kamdenu cow. And they were all surprised how he has so much, variety and such opulent things. And they understood, because this is a Kamdenu cow, actually Nandini. So while going, one of the Vasu's wife, Prabhas is his name, and his wife, he requested him, I want this cow. And this Prabhas said, one of the Vasus said, no, we should not, this is property of a Brahmana. We should not take anything from Brahmana, we should give. So she said, no, I want this. Wife is asking him to get this. So he planned, okay. So he told all his brothers, we will plan like that, go in the night and, take this cow. So they did that. In the night when they were taking the cow,
The cow started making some sound and screaming. So Vasishtha Muni got up and then he said, "Oh, what you are doing? You are not fit to live here. Better go in this Earth planet, Oh, sorry. They realized their mistake and they all said sorry. He said, anyway, I have given these words, so it will happen. But for all these 7 Vasus, the time will be short. But one of the main Vasu who gave this idea of, kidnapping this cow, he will have to suffer more, or he will have to be in the earth for more time, And that one Vasu was who came Devavrat, So coming back to the Shantanu story, he came to the earthly planet, and once he was going, he got attracted to Ganga Devi and he proposed, and then he got married, and with the condition, of course, so one after another child was getting birth, and what was happening with every child, what she was doing? Throwing in the Ganges.
She was just, yes.
Yes, first child, second child, third child, and this Shantanu was completely, why she's doing so much, but he's bound. He wanted Ganga Devi to stay with him, so he was not telling. But after 7th child, when 8th child was born, he said, if you want to go, you go, but I don't want my son to go like this. I want my son. You please tell me the reason. Why are you doing like this? So then she told all the stories, whatever, I told. Yeah, one thing I missed. This 8 Vasus went to Ganga Devi, that you are going, we want to become your son, and the 7 Vasus, you kill them one by one. As soon as they are born, you kill them, so that our whatever curse we got, it will be done only. We just got birth and finished. That's it. So that was all the plan of the Lord, and then she did like that. And the last one Vasu, Prabhas, and who became Devavrat. And then Shantanu Maharaj said, okay, you are going, so leave this son. She said, no, I will take this son. And after 16 years, I'll give him to you after teaching all good things. So she took it to the demigod Loka, and this Devavrat, the earlier name of Bhishma Pitama, he got so many learning, teachings from many teachers, Brahaspati, Shukracharya, and many others, those who are teachers in the demigod planet. So Ganga Devi said, I will train him nicely with all the good teachers, even Markandeya Rishi also, and then I will give you him, I'll give him back. Okay. So therefore, Devavrat is very, very intelligent in all Niti Shastra, this dharma, that dharma, everything, and he, also from Parshuram. He learned many things from Parshuram also, especially this military arts and all. So many things, many teachers, multiple teachers giving, wonderful knowledge to him. So he's very, very qualified. So this is the story about Shantanu and Ganga Devi. And then later when Ganga Devi went and then he grew up, obviously he was, he got when he was 16. And then Shantanu Maharaj was once going to forest, got attracted to this
Ganga Devi.
Mata Satyavati.
Her name was earlier Matsyagandha. Matsyagandha means she was a daughter of a fisherman, and from long distance, her smell was coming. But she was very special. This lady, when she was, taking Parashar Muni, this all is a Lord's plan, So Parashar Muni gave her a son called Vyasa without spoiling her virginity. Like he gave this 2 benedictions. One was this, and second was, you will become very fragrant. The smell of fish will go away. So the later she was known as not Matsyagandha but Yojan Gandha. From for miles, the smell was coming, the good smell was coming from her. So this Shantanu got attracted to her, and then there was a condition. The father said, I can give my daughter only in one condition. What was that?
That her son will become the head next king.
Yes, you already have a son, Ganga Putra Devavrat. Till the time he was Devavrat only. Abhi beech mein nahi bane the wo. So he said, you have already the elder son, so he will become the king, but then my daughter's son will become servant. I don't want that. If you want to marry my daughter, you have to promise that her son will become the king. So Shantanu said, no, my son is very qualified and he is elder, and generally in kingdom, elder person becomes king. He was not ready, he went to his kingdom, but then he was sad, he was not, active and morose, always thinking about her, and Devvrat could understand. And then he found out what had happened, and then he went to Satyavati and his father, and he said, if this is the condition, I vow that your son will become, I will never become king. He said, it's okay, your vow is right, but what if your wife, forces you, or when your children come, they will force you, and something happens, and then they want to become king, then he said, okay, I take another vow also, I'll not marry also. He said, but some other king will come and you will make plan with them that, okay, conquer him and so and so. Okay, I will take a third vow that I will always be loyal to this throne of Hastinapur. So this Bhishan, we say it in 1 minute, nicely. But for Devavrat to take it, lifelong brahmacharya, no enjoyment, nothing. And this is so important for a Kshatriya, in their blood, there's so many things we see, there's a different natures of every person where they are born. Keeping brahmacharya, following this whole life is a very big thing. Not getting married and becoming servant of the one who is the king. Servant of the one who is the king is sitting in that throne of Hastinapur. So all these things, he took Ganges water, blessings from his mother, and then he took this vow. This was the Bhishan vow, and therefore from that time he is called as Bhishma Dev. And the father, when he got to know Shantanu Maharaj, he was so impressed, and he gave this blessing. What is that? Iksha Mrityu. I'm so happy, you are so great. Done such a serious vow you have taken because of me. I'm very happy. I give you this blessings of Iksha Mrityu. So all this is the background. And then what happened later, we know Satyavati got these two sons, Chitrangad and Vichitravir. Chitrangad died very early, in some battle or something. Vichitravir was too much in self-gratification. He was not, because when you have somebody, doing everything for you, you become very lazy and enjoying mentality. Bhishma Dev was there to protect him always. So he had that shelter always. So he was taking actually disadvantage of, his power. So for his marriage also, Bhishma Dev went and got these three daughters. What were their names? Amba, Ambalika, and Ambika, right? And we know he got these three from Virat Naresh, I think, right? I think so. We may correct it. But Amba was already in love with Shalva Naresh. So when he was bringing all three girls, she said, I'm in love with him and you already defeated him. So Bhishma said, oh, it was so important. If you are in love with him, you better go and marry him only. And then Ambika and Ambalika was given to Vichitravir. But Amba, when she went to Shalva, he did not accept it. Once rejected, once somebody else has taken, I will not accept you. So she came back to Bhishma. Now you got me, you get married to me. He said, no, I have a vow. And then it's a great story. She was very angry. Then she went to Parshuram. Then there was a fight between Parshuram and Bhishma Dev, because he said, you listen, because you got her, because she took shelter of Parshuram. So it was Parshuram's duty. Although Bhishma Dev was Parshuram's disciple, but there was a fight, and then there was Akashvani that nothing will happen, you better accept. And Bhishma Dev also was very powerful. He had so many things. At last, she went to Lord Shiva, meditated, and they got the benediction that yes, you will become the cause of his death. And we know then Shikhandi. She came in the next life as Shikhandi, and by the blessings of Shiva, she will remember all the things. that's hatred in her heart and in his heart now. So that is all the story. And then we know with Ambika and Ambalika, there's Dhritarashtra and Pandu, and then there's one Dasi Putra, Vidhur, and all this was Satyavati called Vyasdev. She revealed this, oh, I have a son before marriage. So they called Vyasdev, and then all this. One became blind, another became little pale, and the third one, Vidura, became very intelligent because that Dasi was not blinking his eyes or not worried or not, so that's how. And then Gandhari had 100 sons, and Pandu, Kunti and Madri and 5 sons. So that's all we know. So this is a little background. And Bhishma Dev, and then Shantanu Maharaj's another wife, and then their children, and then Pandu's children, Dhritarashtra's children, their children. So long he is living, right? So now we start. Verse number 1 and 2. Let's read alphabetically, but be ready in your turn, so that we save time. First and second verse, somebody can say.
Her Grace Anandi Mataji.
Okay. Chapter 9, text 1. Sutta Goswami said, being afraid for having killed so many subjects on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Maharaj Yudhishthira went to the scene of the massacre. There Bhishma Dev was lying on a bed of arrows, about to pass away. Text 2. At that time all his brothers followed him on beautiful chariots, drawn by first-class horses decorated with gold ornaments. With them were Vyasa and rishis like Dhaumya, the learned priest of Pandavas, and others.
Yes. So they went in beautiful chariots drawn by first-class horses decorated with gold ornaments. So Krishna said, decorate yourself more. Wear silken garments, jewelry, ornaments, big crown, this, that, everything is. Why? Bhishma Dev will be happy to see you in this situation, because all the time what he saw, you are suffering. It was so much painful for him to see Pandavas being so religious and suffering one after another. So at this last moment, he will be very happy to see all of you in this royal order, because he never wanted, Duryodhan to rule, being so envious, selfish person. He always wanted the righteous king. He wanted. And he was living so long only to see that right person should come and sit on the throne, who can lead the people righteously, who can take them in the right path, guide them nicely according to religious principles and so on. So this will be his happiest moment, Please decorate yourself nicely. So they were going like this to please. So all these Pandavas, I did not have the picture, but they were all in a royal chariot and with all the beautiful decorated horses. They themselves were so royal. So that was all. And it is said, as a devotee, we have to learn, they, like these Pandavas, they always listen Krishna. Generally, what happens when somebody is dying or we are going for that ceremony, we wear simple clothes. We don't wear jewelry, we don't wear heavy dresses, royal silk dress, never. We wear white sari or something. Here it is different, but they are just following what Krishna is telling. They don't understand, they understand, whatever the situation is, we should learn, we should also follow the authority. Because the greatest fulfillment, the greatest pleasure is to please the Supreme Lord, to please the devotees, to please the Guru Maharaj, please the Vaishnavas, please senior, junior devotees, whosoever, we should listen. So they just listen. And then they were going in a royal dress with all the sages, Vyasdev and Dhaumya, and then later more sages will come. Let's go to third one first, and then we will discuss a little more about the reasons.
Dhamasi Kripa Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Text 3. O sage, amongst the Brahmanas, Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, also followed, seated on a chariot with Arjuna. Thus King Yudhishthir appeared very aristocratic, like Kuvera, surrounded by his companions, the Guhayakas. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Kuveraiv Guhayakah. So, when somebody dresses very nicely and is ready to go, what do we say? You're looking hero. So in material world, we say like that. But there in Vedic times, they used to say you're looking like very aristocratic, like Kuvera, the most royal, having everything. So that was the comparison made. And Lord Krishna also followed, seated on a chariot with Arjuna. Rathena sa Dhananjaya. Now war is over. Why Krishna is still the charioteer of Arjuna, driving his chariot? We will see this. That was the form appreciated by Bhishmadev. So Krishna wanted to show that. Again, he is driving his chariot and Arjuna is sitting and they are going like that. That was the desire of Bhishmadev. Later he reveals that. So Krishna knows. He knows everything beforehand, We are in the present and we plan for our future. But Krishna knows the future and, makes us or helps us to act accordingly in the present. He knows everything. So Sri Krishna went, seated on a chariot with Arjuna, and King Yudhishthira was appearing very aristocratic with these 5 Pandavas. Now, reasons of going, one was Yudhishthira Maharaj was unhappy, so they wanted to go and see, what all has happened, and there's a plan. So what all plan we will discuss and spend few minutes here. Pandavas wanted to please Krishna, so they dressed up so nicely and they went in all royal things. And Krishna wanted to please Bhishmadev because Bhishmadev is a very nice devotee, one of the Mahajan we know. So how can Krishna forget and not show him his darshan? Bhishmadev had desired to see the Lord, and this desire as a Paramatma was understood by the Lord and wanted to please Bhishmadev at his last moment. In material world also, if somebody is dying, we ask, what is your last wish? So that it is fulfilled and he goes happily. So therefore, Krishna wanted to please Bhishmadev. So that is one reason. Next, Bhishmadev is leaving soon now. So let him see the Pandavas in the royal order. He will be very happy and peacefully leave. Yesterday we were discussing the old people should be treated nicely so that they can peacefully leave. Of course, he will leave. He is a great Mahajan. But, it's our duty to give them everything what makes them completely happy and peaceful. So Bhishmadev is leaving soon. So let him see the Pandavas in the royal order. And Bhishmadev's desire was this: let Pandavas rule. So when he will see that, oh, everything is nice now, and they are, they are on the throne of Hastinapur, that all his vows are finished, he can, leave his body. For knowledge transfer to Yudhishthira Maharaj, we just discussed Devavrat. Ganga Devi took her to demigod planet with her, and many big personalities became the teacher of Devavrat. He got so many teachings. So that knowledge transfer has to happen to Yudhishthira Maharaj to the next generation. So that was one reason. And Krishna wanted to give his darshan to Bhishmadev at his final moment, because that was his promise. What is 8.56 verse? Do you remember? Chapter 8, verse 5 and 6. There are many other verses, of course, but the thing is, Antakale chamam eva smaran muktva kalevaram ya prayati samad bhavam nati asti atra sanshaya. So Bhishmadev is always remembering Krishna. Throughout his life, he remembered. We will see in further verses, How can Krishna not give his darshan? Definitely. And Bhishmadev was a pure devotee. He himself accepts this. So Krishna wanted to reciprocate with his pure devotee. Somebody gives little garland, somebody makes something, or donate for temple building, construction, anything. Krishna reciprocates. Draupadi, we know, gave little piece of her sari when Krishna got cut, and Krishna returned. With in the most difficult situation of crisis, he helped. So Bhishmadev here is a pure devotee, so Krishna wanted to reciprocate. And also Krishna wanted to glorify Bhishma for his knowledge and devotion, because somebody may think, what is this, Bhishma struggled so much, so big vow, but what a terrible death he is having, in the bed of arrows, all the blood is coming out in so much pain. People may think. So Krishna wants always to glorify his devotees, to let everybody knows how important this person is. Whatever he is acting according to my instruction, my desire. So he's just playing his part, but he's a very nice devotee. So his knowledge, because so many sages have come in front of all those sages and great personalities, Krishna wanted Bhishmadev to speak, to show everyone his glories, how much knowledgeable he is, and his devotion. Last moment, he's how he is leaving the body. It's a lesson for all of us, for all the sages, and for all of us in all the time to come. So these are few reasons which we will see in our discussion in detail. Let's go to next verse, 4, 5.
Deen Pamni Gaurpriya Mataji.
Seeing him, Bhishma, lying on the ground like a demigod fallen from the sky, the Pandava king Yudhishthira, along with his younger brothers and Lord Krishna, bowed down before him. Thank you. Just to see the chief of the descendants of King Bharata, Bhishma, all the great soul in the universe, namely the rishis amongst the demigod brahmanas and kings, all situated in the quality of goodness, were assembled there.
Yes. So it is said, when they went, they bowed down, and Krishna also bowed down. Here, Krishna is acting as he is acting a role of his family member. Why? Krishna is the nephew of Kunti, and this Kunti son is Pandavas, so they are cousins. So everybody goes now when somebody is on the deathbed. So he is going like that. And many rishis, Raj Rishi, Deva Rishi, Sapta Rishi, and Brahma Rishi, and so many, everybody is getting assembled there. See, there was no WhatsApp, no message, no news, nothing, but they all have this, telepathy. They understood Bhishma is going to leave. Let's go and have darshan. He's a great personality. He, Gangara Parasha Hoile Paschate Pavan, Darshane Pavitra Karo Ei Tomar Gun. And he's a great personality. We should all go to see him. So in our community also, when some Vaishnava dies or leaving his body, we go have his darshan, take his blessings, And so like this, all of the sages. Let's read 6 and 7. You will come to know few important names. 6 and 7.
Jagat Mata Shachi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. All the sages like Parvata Muni, Narada, Dhomya, Vyasa, incarnation of God, Brahmadeva, Brahadasva, Bhardwaja, Parshurama, and disciples of Vasishtha, Indra, Paramda, Trita, Grist, Mada, Asita, Kakshwan, Gotama, Atri, Kaushika, and Sudarshana were present.
Yeah, next also. Next also.
Yes, yes, Mataji. Right. And many others like Sukdeva Goswami, other purified souls, Kashyapa and Angira and others are all accompanied by their respective disciples arrived there.
See Krishna's wonderful plan. So many devotees or so many rishis. Krishna wanted to glorify so much Bhishma Dev. He had, asked Yudhishthir Maharaj. Later we will see. You asked from your grandsire about the religious principles. Three dharm, this dharm, then you ask, and then Bhishma Dev is going to speak. So at the, in a painful situation, it's difficult to speak. But Krishna wanted to show how his devotees is not in bodily platform. Hundreds of arrows in every inch probably of his body, every inch, and all the blood already came out, dripping, dripping, dripping. Still his consciousness is, so profound that he's going to speak so much, nice teachings and everything. So he wanted to show all these stages also. So whatever Krishna does, it is for his devotees' glorification. So, 9th verse is the most important, and we'll spend some good time here. Tan sametan mahabhagan uplabhya vasutamaha pujayamasa dharmagyo deshakala vibhagavet. So he said Bhishma Dev, who was the best amongst the 8 Vasus, received and welcomed all the great and powerful rishis who were assembled there, for he knew perfectly all the religious principles according to time and place. Now this verse is very important, according to time and place. That means he is lying in the bed of arrows. He cannot do Shashtang Pranam, Panchang Pranam, or like this, or whatever we do when somebody comes or when we meet a senior devotee. He cannot do all those things. But still, he received and welcomed all the great and powerful rishis according to time and place, perfectly according to religious principles. And what is that word? Desha Kala Vibhagavit. Desha Kala Vibhagavit. And you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines from the bottom. Can somebody read that? Prabhupada's purport. 6 lines from the bottom. It gives a very good mood and mission of Prabhupada. Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, but he was quite fit. Yes, from there.
Yes.
But he was quite fit by the activities of his sound mind, and therefore he could utter sweet words with heartly expressions, and all of them were well received. One can perform one's duty by physical work, by mind, and by words, and he knew well how to utilize them in the proper place, and therefore there was no difficulty for him to receive them, although physically unfit.
Yes. Although physically unfit, he pleased all of them the way he welcomed them and spoke to them. By his sound mind, sweet words and heartly expressions. So what does this mean? This is very important point for all of us to learn, for all of us. He's not able to, fold his palms. But if you really want to please someone, you should follow these 3 things: sound mind, sweet words, and hearty expression. Why do we need sound mind, or what does this sound mind mean? Sound mind, we are not tense, or we don't have fight with somebody, and it happens if we have some issue going on, some argument going on, and immediately somebody comes, we are not in a sound mind, or if a person has a argument or discussion or quarrel or some chastisement from the boss, he cannot say anything to the boss. But when he comes home, he, one after another, he says some or the other thing which is not pleasing, because he is not sound mind. whatever is coming, he's telling to whatever grudge he has of his office boss, he's just downloading it to his wife, children, servant, whosoever is coming, because he's not in his proper mood, sound mind, he's not having that. So mind has to be always sound, calm and cool. Therefore, we also practice this, our Krishna consciousness, so that we understand, how to keep our mind cool, not get hurt, not become envious and, create grudges for others and so many things. So we should always have calm mind, sound mind, cool mind. And next is sweet words. It is said, sweet words cost nothing. We should have this the courage to say sweet words to others, whosoever is coming. When something costs something, then we think twice how much we should give, to whom we should give. But sweet words cost nothing. We can talk very nicely with everyone actually. It costs nothing. So sweet words is very important. Otherwise, opposite is what? Criticizing words or complaining words, blaming words. No, sweet words. And hearty expressions. It is said that expressions convey your mood, your intention before you say anything. When somebody is coming, can I take your 2 minutes? 2 minutes, really? You are, looking at the watch and here and there. So it's not welcome. So hearty expressions means really you are welcoming that person nicely with your face expressions, with your gestures, with your words, sweet words, just like some guest is coming, or we have got some service. So these all three things should go together. And we should have welcomed everyone properly. Properly means, he might have had some exchanges with somebody before, like Vyasdev, So he was trying to find out some connection or some memory, what interaction they had, and he recalled, and then he's appreciating whatever. To every single stage, he was trying to say some good words to them and welcome and thanking, being grateful. So that is Prabhupada says, sound mind, sweet words, and hearty expressions. So there's one beautiful story, in 10th Canto. Krishna went to a place. There are two devotees. One was very rich, one was very poor. Baulashru and Shrutadev. So one was a king. He welcomed very nicely with all pom-pom bands and dancing and then beautiful decoration and so many things. And the other one, Shrutadev, was a poor Brahmana. He was just whirling around his upper cloth, and he was happy. He was saying sweet words. Lord was equally happy to both of them. So Bhishmadev welcomed them properly and adjust according to time, place, and circumstances. Like if we have, for some reason, we got our fracture in our leg, and we are taking this clutcher or stick probably and walking. So in that situation, we may not be able to do downwards to some senior devotees we meet across. So we will, what we said, please, Prabhu, sorry, I will not be able to do obeisances, but please accept my humble obeisances, we'll say like that. And that is expressed. Main is your bhav, and that is expressed. So adjust according to time, place, and circumstances. And this Prabhupada has taught us very nicely. When new people come, we preach them, they ask many things. Oh, you do this, how to do this, or grastas, or, in many different things. And Prabhupada has taught us time, place, and circumstances. Krishna consciousness, not rule consciousness, niyam, agraha, Rupa Goswami has also wonderfully explained. Not too much, not too less. What is fit? We should not break the principles, but details may little bit vary. But we should not, break our principles. Somebody can read this from 4th Canto.
Purport on Narada's instruction to Dhruva, Srimad Bhagavatam 4.8.54. The method of washing, chanting the mantra, and preparing the forms of the Lord is not stereotyped, nor is it exactly the same everywhere. One should take consideration of the time, place, and available conveniences. Our Krishna consciousness movement is going on throughout the entire world. And we also install deities in different centers. Sometimes our Indian friends, puffed up with concocted notions, criticize this has not been done, that has not been done, but they forget this instruction of Narad Muni to one of the greatest Vaishnavas, Dhruva Maharaj. One has to consider the particular time, country, and convenience. What is a convenient in India may not be convenient in the Western countries.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. So Prabhupada is clearly telling, Narad Muni is telling to Dhruva Maharaj this thing. Some people criticize, oh, Prabhupada, it's good to see your disciples get up early in the morning, they chant and they follow the principles, they have their shikha and they try to wear traditional attire also. But you have opened these so many temples, but these temples are not actually temples. Why, temples means Gopuram, flag and this and that. And you have opened all these temples in churches and in flats, your centers, and you have worshipping Radha Krishna deities there. But there's no Gopuram. These Indians have these mentalities. Some Indians, this in USA, this was mentioned. So even some criticize, this has not been done, that has not been done. Instead of seeing the positive, what is going on, they criticize. So Prabhupada has taught us time, place, and circumstances. Once Shrutakirti Prabhu asked, Prabhupada, he was massaging his feet, and then he asked, Prabhupada, how should we understand how much to adjust and, without breaking our core principles, how much we can change in the details. So Prabhupada said, that needs little intelligence. And that intelligence is the Dami Buddhi Yogamtam. Krishna gives that intelligence. So one cannot whimsically change something. When we are to that level of our devotional practices, Krishna inspires us. The Dami Buddhi Yogamtam. So many things we have heard already, how Prabhupada, never crossed the ocean, he crossed. Brahmachari, many things he has done it according to time, place, and circumstances. So I want to discuss this. If you remember anything from Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, senior devotee, who has changed. Like I remember, Prabhupada corrects also. When one of the devotee, I think is Gurijan Prabhu was telling this, few devotees, Prabhupada said, you distribute my books by hook and crook, it should be distributed to everyone, So people started really doing it by hook or crook. That means they take some books and then they say, oh, you want yoga? This here is yoga, that perfection of yoga book we have. And the person who took over, he might get some yoga exercises. So he took that book because that's how he presented. But then when he went back, the person saw there's no yoga exercises, here, all the books. But we should not present it like also that way, because the goodwill goes away, But people were kind of misusing this. By hook and crook, Prabhupada said, gives, oh, you wanted yoga exercises, take this, perfection of yoga, something like this. Or sometimes they used to, give one book, oh, it is $20, and the person does not have a change, he gives $100. And then he says, oh, I also don't have a change. Better you take 5 more books and, it's done then. These 5 books cost this. And then he went away. So he wanted just one book in $20 and you somehow forced him to take all books. So, and some things like this were going on. And Prabhupada came to know, Prabhupada a little bit corrected. One devotee complained, Prabhupada, this is happening. Prabhupada corrected. Hook and crook means, you should find out different ways. Like if you're meeting some a mother with a child, you say, you should tell nice stories to children. Here is a Krishna book with nice stories. Something like this, which is not right, which is not wrong completely, and which is true, which is inspiring, which will help that lady, something like this. So hook and crook means nothing that you may increase your book score, but the goodwill of the society then goes. People think, oh, these persons, they just pay to just sell their books, something like this. So sorry, yeah. So can you give some examples? Let's see, Rukmani Harisevani Mataji.
Mataji, I remember Srila Prabhupada when he went to West in India, female pujaris are not allowed, but in West, Prabhupada allowed according to time, places, circumstances. This and women were not to give Brahman initiation earlier, but now Prabhupada started giving. And to Mataji, some another devotee will say.
Yes, yes, thank you. Yeah, anyone else? You can think of 1 minute.
Yes, Mataji, may I?
Yes, Prabhuji, Rastramana Krishna Prabhu, please.
Mataji, in Western countries, there are brahmacharini ashrams. But in India, there is not the facility for the girls to enter the brahmacharini ashrams.
Yes.
So this is also the difference as per the time, circumstances, and country.
Exactly. Prabhuji, thank you so much. Because the culture there is different, you know. More independent culture. The children goes away when they grow up, you know. They don't stay with the parents. So there was one incident actually. In America, one day, a young girl came. In Vedic life, we know, you know, there's no brahmacharini ashram, as Mataji has said, and you also said. The boys go to Gurukul, they learn everything from there, all sanskar, everything, and then they come back, you know, either to go to brahmachari ashram or to grihastha ashram. But for girls, it is like stay at home, learn all cooking, cleaning, you know, worshipping, all these things from mother. I mean, now nobody has this culture, so where to learn from? So, one day, one young girl in America, Saradiya Mataji, she came to Srila Prabhupada and she cried. You give so nice facilities to these brahmacharis. What about us, Prabhupada? What about we girls? Where will we go? Srila Prabhupada said, you girls stay at home with your mother and father. And she started literally crying so badly. She said, you are my father. Okay, I'm your spiritual father, but where is your father and mother? She said, they're divorced. So common in America. They're divorced because they are always in bodily level. So if it is not happening nicely, then okay, we don't live together. They divorced, they separated. So I'm not staying with them, with any of them. I'm staying alone and boys are harassing me. When you do devotional practices, anyway the boys harass, and now when you are doing this, they trouble more. So she said, Srila Prabhupada, if you can give me some facility to live in the temple, I can do my practice, you know, Krishna consciousness practice nicely. So Srila Prabhupada said, okay, that's, you know, logical. Make one room for Mataji. He said, you know, to the temple authorities, one room for Matajis alone, to separate. There will be no mixing of man and woman, you know. Only for services they will talk a little bit. Otherwise, everything separate, bathroom separate, you know, separate. So even if there is husband and wife, husband should stay in brahmachari ashram and wife should stay in this. And when they become husband wife or when they get married, Prabhupada tell them to now start grihastha life so they can, you know, move ahead. And even if there is a girl, Prabhupada said every girl should get married. It's not like saying. So that's how the brahmacharini ashram started, because that was the need there. Anything what is required to make a person devotee, which is not breaking, you know, your principles, we should do it, and that's what Prabhupada has taught. Yes, Anand Lila,
we see Prabhupada started Guru Puja Prabhupada in front of the deities. That is something he wanted to teach the disciples, that how Guru should be worshipped, because they were all new in that. Although we don't see that happening in front of the deities, no one else is to be worshipped. Yeah. And he didn't break the principle. At the same time, he wanted to teach and inspire them how a guru must be worshipped.
Yes. I remember one thing from Prabhupada's Leelamrit. You know, everything he was teaching, Anand Lila Mataji rightly said, they did not know anything. Wearing sari, dhoti, or, you know, cooking, deity worship, cleaning. Yesterday I was reading even pocha. Pocha means, you know, brooming. After brooming, what? Cleaning. Prabhupada was showing. I was reading yesterday the Leelamrit part, you know, when he was in Banaras. He was teaching this lady, I think Kaushalya Mataji was there, how to do the pocha. First do like this and then do it, and then second time more, dry it so that there's no stains left. To that extent, Prabhupada taught them everything. So what point she said? Guru Puja, yeah. So he taught. So there's another incident in Prabhupada Leelamrit. Once Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj's Vyas Puja came. Prabhupada celebrated. And that's how he's showing how to worship your Guru, how to celebrate the Vyas Puja. And the very, in the beginning years, first few Vyas Pujas, in one of them, he said, Guru Maharaj, I have nothing to give you. Only thing I have to give to you is these disciples. And literally he was taking names of each of the disciples in front of his Guru Maharaj on his Vyas Puja day. So touching, he said, I have nothing to gift you on your birthday. I have these disciples and I gift it to you. He was taking the names. So nice. Yes. Any other thing you remember? Like, in Indian temples, generally.
Mataji, would giving sannyas, even after criticism of the Vrindavan Goswamis, would count here, although Prabhupada did not. Would it count here? Like Prabhupada was criticized for giving sannyas to Western disciples, but he did not break any principles, but he did give them, but he was criticized heavily for it. Would that count here?
Yes, criticized heavily. They said, what? You are spoiling our Brahmana community. You are giving them Diksha and making all these Brahmanas. Prabhupada said, no, they are becoming pure. Brahmana is not by birth. Brahmana is by activity. So Prabhupada was continuing doing his things, But these Brahmanas were criticizing that, wow, you are allowing everyone, to do this puja, giving them Brahman initiation. So you are right, actually, it happened. And in Indian temples, we see this, in most of the temples, they ring the bell, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, in very loud noise while doing aarti. Prabhupada started Govindam Adipurusham, right? And this Govindam Adipurusham is sung by a lady. Normally, ladies' song we will not see in Indian temples. But Prabhupada appreciated. And later, I heard also some man disciples, they sang Govindam Adipurusham Tamam Bhajami and they presented it to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, that was a lady voice, we can do it this, all around as you suggest. Prabhupada said, no, that is not lady's voice, that is transcendental voice, what Yamuna Mataji said, Govindam Adipurusham. So we see today now in every temple all over the world, same Govindam Adipurusham, no ding dong bell, nothing, Govindam Adipurusham. So nice. While seeing the darshan, we are, having that feelings also. Oh, Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vritti Manti, and so many Vedum Korantam Garve, everything. So Prabhupada has changed that. Yeah, anybody else? So the question here is, either you saw Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, any senior devotee, temple president, or you yourself did some adjustment without breaking the religious principles in your personal life. When somebody new people come, we give them counseling also. Now, okay, if this is the situation, you do it this way. If you cannot offer to deities, you offer to Prabhupada. Many things in our day-to-day life, we also learn and we then train others also. So anything, you all have to share. And this is one of the questions. I have to give 2 questions for the unit, right? So this is one of the questions also. You have to write.
Mataji, does this, the Prabhupada, according to the circumstances, name the temples of the names like Radha Landaneshwar and Radha Pariseshwar? So does this also fits into this, the time, place and circumstances?
Very much, Prabhuji. And he is not wrong because Krishna has unlimited names. He can be Landaneshwar. What is the problem?
Yeah.
Landaneshwar is Landaneshwar.
According to the circumstances, this was named by Prabhupada like that only.
Exactly. Very beautiful point, Prabhuji. Yes. Exactly. He named Pariseshwar, Landaneshwar. Yes, any other point? in olden times, they used to play clay mridanga only. Prabhupada introduced this fiber mridanga because this clay mridanga, traveling this and that, it will break. So fiber mridanga. Earlier, it was not the trend. Fiber was not there only earlier. Now it has come. So fiber mridanga allowed. People travel. They take so many mridangas, when they go to many different countries, they travel and they take it and they perform nice kirtan. He allowed that. Tulsi. What about Tulsi? In every country, Tulsi is not growing. So what Prabhupada did? He was very happy when one disciple, Govind Dasi, she, with lot of, study and struggle, she started planting and growing Tulsi Maharani. Prabhupada was very happy. But if it is not possible, very cold weather or very, different kind of atmosphere when there's no Tulsi, then okay, put dry Tulsi. Take from India, get it from somewhere, dry them, and then offer. When fresh Tulsi is available, we never heard of, offering with a dry Tulsi. But after Prabhupada, yes, if it is not possible to get the wet one, fresh one, okay, dry one, offer. There are many things like that. Yeah.
Mataji, I'm remembering one pastime which Her Grace Anandila Mataji shared 7 years back when she gave us a DT worship course. DT, it was just for 2 days. 2 day seminar was there, and Mataji was explaining when she was in abroad, there was not so much Tulsi. So like as you said, so Mataji used to do with a stick or something. And Mataji said at that time, I remember in 2017, I think, Mataji said that if you have a true desire, now I'm in Mayapur. So if you have true desire, Krishna fulfills that.
Yeah.
So just wanted to share.
Yes, yes.
And I want to share, Mataji, one of when I was still am neophyte, but when I was came into Krishna consciousness many years back, so we used to make many adjustments when we used to go to some relative place. They used to cook without onion garlic, but actually a devotee should honor cooked prasad by a devotee only. But we used to have it and offer it and have it like this. We used to do. We make adjustments without breaking the principle.
Exactly. What is best possible? We do that. Whatever is best possible. In the train, when we are there, we cannot take bath and chant. Okay. More important is chanting. So chant, take Atman bath, whatever, freshen, brush your teeth and start chanting. Nay, I will go home, then take bath, then chant. Oh, then, no. Yeah, good example. Any other examples from your personal life? Good, you shared. That we do. There are many Arab countries or Gulf countries where literally this dress is not allowed. When devotees travel, sannyasis travel now in Gulf countries, this saffron dress is not allowed. So even sannyasis, they keep on dress pant shirt with them. Only during that exit time or the flight time, they change, and then they immediately when they reach there, go to devotee's house, they come back to their original dress. That's time, place, and circumstances. Sannyasis are not allowed to wear pant shirt. But okay. Sometimes, there are devotees, Prabhupada, if we go in this dress, people don't listen and they think we are some sects, this and that. But when we go to pant shirt, our book distribution is literally 3 times, 4 times, So Prabhupada, once Prabhupada said to one devotee, when he said, people look like this, that we are this and that, Prabhupada said, those people who are looking like that, they will look like that, they will not take only, so you better be what you are. And secondly, one time when another devotee said, Prabhupada said, if it is really affecting so much book distribution, then you may take a decision of sometimes wearing pant shirt, but it should not become a common trend. And we should be very careful when you wear pant shirt. And really it happened, what happened once one devotee, he took this thing from Prabhupada and he wore pant shirt and he went to book distribution. And one lady, she approached and he also approached, and then he gave some books, and for money she said she took some books, quite number of books, 4 or 5 books, and she said, sorry, I don't have money, but if you want, you can come in the night and spend time with me. So he got so shocked, because he was in pant shirt, And this lady thought this is his business. So anyway, for money, she can, spend some time with her. And then this devotee went back to the temple, and then he went to this dhoti kurta, because this signifies our purity. He said, what you are speaking, madam, lady, whatever, I have these rules to follow. I'm a mendicant. I cannot spend time with you like this, So he got shocked. So Prabhupada said, be careful. Then he never wore. Whatever book goes, he always wore dhoti kurta whenever he went out. So such things happen. There was one Acharya Prabhakar, the very initial disciple we see in Prabhupada Lilamrit when he was in India. And this Prabhakar said, "Oh, Prabhupada, if I take this initiation, he was doctor. If I go to hospital, how will I shave my head and all these things?" So Prabhupada said, "It's okay, you once you shave and then you can keep little hair." That was some adjustment. Initial, the first, before going to America, this Acharya Prabhakar, if you know. So he said, okay, keep short hair. And then he said, but I cannot wear dhoti kurta also there. Okay, you can wear pant shirt because that is your job. So sometimes time, place, and circumstances. This is so important in our mission. In other missions, we see they got stuck in the rules and regulations, and then there's not much preaching or this mass. People are not becoming devotees because too much into intricacies of the rules and regulations. It's not possible for everyone. We never saw last 22 years back when I got married. I never thought, I will sit like this and chant and, I will do all this sari and never. We are so much in Janmaishtra, Shruta Shribir, making plans for our life. But this is because of time, place, and circumstances. Yes, it is for me also. I can do with all my job and work and everything. I can practice my Krishna consciousness nicely because Prabhupada has taught us that way. Yeah, should we move ahead with many of these examples? I think we understood, and that's what Bhishma Pitama did: time, place, and circumstances. With sound mind, sweet words, and heartly expressions, even though he was not able to physically get up and welcome them or bow down or touch their feet or anything, but he pleased everyone. He welcomed so well. All the great acharyas and religious preachers adjust, and they have to know. So this is three things: Desh, Kala, Vibhagavit. Should remember this. Time, place, and service. Desh, Kala, Patra, we say in Hindi, right? Okay, number 10 and 11.
Jai Mataji.
Hare Krishna, text 10. Translation. Lord Shri Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, yet he manifests his transcendental form by his internal potency. This very Lord was sitting before Bhishma Deva, and since he knew of his glories, he worshipped him duly. Text 11. The son of Maharaj Pandu were sitting silently nearby, overtaken with affection for their dying grandfather. Seeing this, Bhishma Deva congratulated them with feeling. There were tears of ecstasy in his eyes, for he was overwhelmed by love and affection.
This is important. Two times the tears comes, One time when we are very sad, another time when we are very happy. Tears of love. Tears of love that flowed from Bhishma Deva's eyes. Right? Bhishma Deva congratulated them with feelings. That was my desire for so many years, that you all become king. You are righteous people. And today that day has come. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Tears of ecstasy in his eyes. Pandavas were innocent. Although they were innocent, they were really unnecessarily troubled by these Duryodhana and parties. Bhishma Dev was seeing all these things, but he was bound by so many vows, rules, intricacies, this, that. He could not, do immediately. Then you go. Bhishma, Pandavas, you sit. So he was bound by all these principles. So now he's very happy. Most satisfied man, because Yudhishthira is being enthroned in the place of Duryodhana, and he congratulated them. And then the point comes, verse number 12. Another important word. Aho kashtam, aho anyayam. Aho means with a great, aho. So many kashtas, so many injustice you have gone through. Yadyu yam dharma nandanaha. You were the son of Dharma personified, Dharma Nandana. Still you went through so many difficulties. Jivitum nartha klishtam. If somebody has so much difficulty, now he will not be able to live. But you are living. Why? Vipra dharma achyut ashrayah. So this word is important now. Vipra dharma achyut ashrayah. Vishuddin is telling Vipra dharma achyut ashrayah. Vipra means Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. Dharma means religious principles. And Achyuta means Supreme Lord. So Bhakti, Bhakta and Bhagwan. Because you were taking shelter of all these three always, you are victorious. So many troubles came. Somebody can read the translation?
Kamakshi Gopi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Translation. Bhishma Deva said, "Oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustice you good souls suffer for being the sons of religion personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations, yet you were protected by the Brahmanas, God and religion." Hare Krishna.
Correct. Protected by the Brahmanas, religious principles and the Supreme Lord. And Prabhupada says in the purport also these three things. We will discuss. So I have written this. Dharma eva hato hanti dharmo rakshati rakshita. Dharma eva hato hanti. Those who destroy dharma, dharma will destroy them. You always remember. If you don't follow the dharma, dharma will destroy you. And dharmo rakshati rakshita. Dharmo rakshati rakshita. The one who has obeyed, followed the religious principles, the dharma always. The one who protects dharma, dharma will protect him. Nice. So dharma is what in our device sessions we say. What is that word? Ahara nidra bhaymetu namcha samanya metat pashubhi naranam. Dharmo hi ekam adhiko vishesho dharme nahina pashubhi samana. If you are not following dharma, we are like four-legged animal only. Human being means, you have to follow these dharmas. Set aside, dharma here is referring to the one who has taken this human body has to follow the one who is driving a vehicle has to follow the traffic rules. Otherwise, he will be gone. The license will be taken away. Your human body will be taken away. If you're not following the dharma, okay, go become human or become animal or lizard or whatever, So when we follow dharma, we get the strength. Dharma protects us. And last 4-5 lines. Bhishmadev encouraged Maharaj Yudhishthira to dissipate his despondency because Yudhishthira Maharaj was not getting pacified from Krishna, Vyasdev, other rishis, Dhamma Rishi, and etc. Because Krishna's plan was to bring him in front of Bhishmadev. So Bhishmadev is telling, please, don't be sad. Bhishmadev encouraged Maharaj Yudhishthira to dissipate his despondency. Just forget that you are the cause. As long as a person is fully in cooperation with the wishes of the Lord, which is Achyuta, guided by the bona fide Brahmana, which is Vipra and Vaishnavas, and strictly following religious principles, which is Dharma. One has no cause of despondency, and oh Yudhishthira, you have done this all your life. You followed all the, you always were guided by Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, you always pleased them, served them, listened to them, obeyed them. No cause of despondency, you always did that. And then Dharma, you always followed religious principles, whatever may come, you never broke that. And Achyutashraya, you were always in shelter of the Supreme Lord. You took shelter. So, nothing to worry. Nothing to worry, then why all this happened, Bhishma Dev will say. So how to take and respond to calamities? Vipra dharma achyutashraya. It's again one lesson for all of us. Now, what is a calamity? Yesterday also we discussed, in Kunti Maharani's prayers. she went through so many calamities. Vipada. What is a calamity in a normal term? Calamity is something which has just come without our pre-planning. We plan life insurance, this, that, security system, eye hole in our door, and many other things. But calamity is something which we have not planned. It has just come. Some accident, some terrible disease we came to know, the report came and now you have a cancer, second stage, third stage, whatever. Or some near and dear ones died. This is calamity, right? They never knew they are eating nicely and the same night, it is going to get burnt. This Laksha girl. So this is calamity in a material sense. So we see Pandavas went through so many, Pandavas and Kunti, so many, calamities. Normally, when we preach, we say, oh, you come to temple, you chant, all your problems will go away. We say like that. Yeah, and this is common understanding also, that when we follow the norms, or when we go to the temple, when we abide by the principles, dharmic religious principles, and we are like devotees, then we will not get calamities, or we will not we are pious like that. So Krishna will save, or God will save us. But here we see Pandavas and Kunti, such a pure devotee, but they are suffering so much, so many calamities one after another. Why Lord gives us suffering? Why he gives suffering to devotees? Why devotees suffer so much? Prahlad Maharaj, such a nice devotee, but so much suffering from his own father. Hundreds of examples we can, bring it out. But why? What is the reason? Yes, Rukmani Harisevni Mataji.
There is, Mataji, which I understand, it's only one reason, that Krishna wants to Krishna wants his devotees to be glorified.
Yes. Very nice. Very good point. He wants to glorify. And he chooses his pure devotee only. If neophyte devotee, he will choose this neophyte devotee will go away. Oh Krishna, I was doing so much for you. Since 1 year I'm doing Ekadashi and this and that, and you gave me this, I don't believe that, he has not so much faith. So he chooses his pure devotee to teach a lesson, or as you said, to glorify his devotee. Prahlad Maharaj, how many, yugas back that happened? And we are still remembering him. Not once, 3 times a day minimum. We remember, right? To glorify the devotees. He came in the books, although he was born in a demon family, but he is in the book Srimad Bhagavatam, which is book for, for all the eternity, Bhagavatam book. Yes, any other reason why Lord gives sufferings to devotees? The first reason Mataji said very correct, to glorify.
Mataji, devotees are very dear to Lord Krishna. So that's why Lord Krishna wants to enhance devotees' love towards him more and more. And ultimately, he wants to finish the material entanglement for them.
Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. That is another reason. Whatever little is left, he wants to just purify with that, with giving little. If our hand is going to get cut, we just cut our little finger, to make us realize our, to finish off our karma or whatever. Actually, it is said, when we take shelter of the Lord, not even initiated. This Giriraj Maharaj was telling once, when we take shelter of the Lord, when we start chanting, he takes away all our reactions and lock it, in his almirah, whatever. That means he takes away all the reactions of us. That means we are free from all. Everything is taken away, That means we are not suffering. We don't have to suffer. We are free from all those reactions. But when he sees I'm going little off track, then slowly he opens his almirah and gives us little. From our own account, he gives little. Oh, I gave you so nice facility so that you can practice. Now you are just, scrolling your WhatsApp and wasting your time in YouTube and seeing a little bit here and there news and movies. So he gives some, thing to shake you off. Oh, human birth important, you please understand, this is Dukhala Machashpatam, this and that, something. He will give little to purify us, to come back, to remind ourselves again. Another good point. Yes, that's why devotees, suffer. Lord, personally, it is said only two things happen, There are only two reasons whatever is happening in our life. One thing is our desire. We desired, therefore it is happening. And if something is happening without our desire, that means it is Krishna's desire. Nobody else has the capacity to do anything in our life other than me or the Supreme Lord. If I desire, that is happening. If something is coming which is not my desire, that means it is Lord's desire. We should be more happy. I want this job. Oh, Krishna, let me get admission in medical college. I got it. That was my desire. I am happy. Krishna fulfilled that. And if something came which was not my desire, I should be more happy. Understanding this is Krishna's desire. I didn't desire this. It is Krishna's desire. That means Krishna is taking care of me. So we should be more happy. If we think like that, now life is so positive. Always be welcome. Whatever is coming, I'm grateful, oh Lord. And that's how we advance like this. Never complain, never blame. Whatever is giving it for good. I may not understand at this point of time, but it is for my good. Yes, Dina Pavani Mataji. Dina Pavani Gaur Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, I think that Krishna wants us to take this fully shelter, that we should surrender fully, completely. That's why he gives suffering. He wants us to take fully shelter of his lotus feet.
Yes, correct. So it is more related to, whatever little here and there we have impurity, we should take out also and fully surrender. Yes, very nice. Jai Kumari Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Mataji, maybe Krishna want to show the world that anyone who is fully surrendered to Krishna is ultimately very happy. I mean, they ultimately, his devotees, like we see in the life of Prahlad Maharaj, in Krishna, Krishna was with him every time. And when we see with Sudama, he was fully sheltered, and in the end, he got his wealth and everything. So I want to say he wants to show that anyone who is fully surrendered to Krishna, he's ultimately happy.
Yes.
His life is perfect ultimately.
Yes. Yeah. So all good reasons you are giving. Sometimes we wear this gold and it gets little black, right? Whatever we wear. And then we clean it nicely. So, or we burn it again. We go to the shop and then they burn it again and then it shines like anything. It shines. So this burning is something like, Lord gives some suffering so that we shine more. I give the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj also. He was so picked up, so, nicely, with all his senses, he was just worshipping the Lord. So, wealthy, so rich, being big king. But then why this Durvasa Muni came and this episode happened? He has to face this fiery demon. Still, he was quite, and Lord sent the Sudarshan Chakra. Everything was nice, but why this happened? He's glorified. See, at such an extreme situation also, how devotees are peaceful. How devotees don't worry. They just accept it as Lord's plan. He's more glorified. To such an extent that when Durvasa Muni came back, he begged forgiveness. So Amrish Maharaj was telling Sudarshan Chakra, please accept my humble obeisances. Whatever good I have done, you please take it, but leave this Durvasa. To such an extent, he was good to Durvasa Muni, even though he was trying to kill him. So Lord gives suffering to glorify, sometimes to purify, so that we can shine more. And the third important reason is to have exchanges with his devotees. He wants to do some pastime with his devotees. He likes to serve his devotees. He likes to be, with his pure devotee. So there are many stories where Lord Krishna really wanted to serve the devotee. He became the Parthasarthi. Not easy. And then he does, messengers. How nicely he served. Sometimes he was, I heard also, he was giving water or something, while they are going in the forest, he was arranging things for them, Pandavas ke liye. So he wants to serve. He wants to do pastimes with his devotees, So he gives suffering so that devotees will remember, oh Lord, please help me, and then he will come and then do some pastime. Yes, I'm there. I'm coming. I want to do those exchanges with you, So that was beautiful. So we take a break and come back in 5 minutes. Okay? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, are we all here? Yes. Okay, welcome back. So one correction I wanted to say, Amba, Ambalika and Ambika, they were from Kashi Raj, right? Virat, I think I said Virat, Naresh, no? Because Virat, they went when they were in incognito for the final 13th year. But these three daughters were from Kashi Raj, yeah, which Bhishma Dev got. Okay. So we discussed about these three things, why Lord gives suffering to devotees, to purify, to glorify, and to have pastimes with his devotees. Vipra Dharma Achyutashraya. So can we do this little exercise of thinking, when we got into such kind of situation, did we follow these three principles or we did not? Bhakti, Bhagwan and Bhakti. Did we take shelter of Vaishnavas, followed all the religious principles and cooperate with the wish of the Lord? See, it looks very simple, but generally we doubt. Cooperate with the wish of the Lord. Acceptance becomes difficult when some crisis comes. So this we have to learn. Strictly following religious principles. Sometimes, we break principles when we reach that situation of crisis or calamities. And what is happening, it's okay, I'll do this like this. Take guidance from Brahmavite Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. It is always suggested we should approach a senior devotee and find solution. So take a moment and quickly maybe you can share something. You could follow or you failed to follow. In both the situations, we have a learning. Yes, somebody can share?
Mataji, I want to share. And Mataji, yes, it happened in my life that when I was totally devastated, I was confused. Yes. So I took guidance from senior devotees and I was following the religious principles, but I was confused. When we take shelter of the Lord, we don't fear. So we accept that I have taken the shelter, whatever is happening, it's Krishna's will. But no, I will say that I was confused. Why it's happening with me, why it has happened with me. So somehow on third principle, I was not very strict. Yeah, after some time, I got that whatever happened, it was really very much beneficial for me. So I'm able to practice Krishna consciousness more nicely, vividly now. So, but yes, on third point, I was not much fixed. Otherwise, I was not in grief. So, like this.
Yeah. Yes. This Arjuna became Brannala. He went to the demigod Lokendra Loka, and there some incidents happened, and he got this, and he was thinking, "Oh my God." He might be thinking, "Oh, I have to go down, and what others will think that I will become like that." But later he realized it was a boon basically. Otherwise, people might have caught them when they spend time in incognito, So Arjuna might have blamed, what is this Krishna? I got, this curse. Krishna knows better what we want, what we need. We have taken shelter. He has all the master plans for us. Thank you much. Good. Anybody quickly want to share something? Because we have to really move ahead. So you can think. And at least we should try. Yeah, the Dharmavasi Mataji, you want to say something? Prabhuji, yes. Dharmavasi.
Hare Krishna Mataji. The same, this thing, not devastated or bewildered, but human being's nature is, one is always confused. So the same situation was with us also. So we were always doing whatever the family follows and the rituals follows. Everybody goes on the same path. So I was confused to which for spiritual realization, which path to follow. So by Krishna's mercy, I came across Vaishnava. So they advised me to, we used to go to the parks and do some exercises and all that. So they guided us to, Vaishnava guided us to come to the temple and attend the classes and all that. So it comes to this thing, we went to the classes and seeing that what is the right path to follow. This is the same situation is with everybody in the society. So everybody is confused, and the principle which I came across was this: took guidance from a Vaishnava and came to this Krishna consciousness, and now we see that this is the right path and this should be followed by everybody. So this is the I wanted to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dharmavati Kripa Prabhuji. There's a beautiful example of Vidura. Duryodhan hurted him so badly. So Vidura had the same situation, a terrible situation. He left his bow and arrow. We will read in next, cantos, when Vidura just left his bow and arrow and things, and he left home. He left home. He was not there in the war. He left home. And what did he do? Crying, blaming, making a suicidal attempt? No. Took guidance from bona fide Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. He went for pilgrimage and he was taking association of other sages, devotees, discussing about Krishna's pastimes, strictly following religious principles. He was bathing in the river, he was taking darshan of the Lord, strictly following all the religious principles, cooperating with the wish of the Lord. Whatever happens, Lord's plan. Let me just focus on my devotion in whatever the situation I am. So he followed all these three principles. So let's move ahead with verse number 14 and 15. So so far, Bhishma Dev is trying to tell Yudhishthira Maharaj that so many difficulty situations come, but you came out of all this because you were following Dharma, right? And you took always shelter of Vipra Dharma Achyut Ashraya. Therefore, you are saved. And he's happy. And he is also telling, don't worry. The next verse is, it is the influence of time. Don't think you are the cause of so many deaths and this and that. It is influence of time. So we will read that quickly. 14, 15, 2 verses.
Lakshmi Mataji.
Text 14. Translation. In my opinion, this is all due to inevitable time, under whose control everyone in every planet is carried, just as the clouds are carried by the wind. Text 15. Oh, how wonderful is the influence of inevitable time. It is irreversible. Otherwise, how can there be reverses in the presence of King Yudhishthira, the son of the demigod controlling religion? Bhim, the great fighter with the club, the great bowman Arjun with his mighty weapon, Gandiva, and above all, the Lord, the direct well-wisher of the Pandavas. Text 16. O King.
Thank you. Okay. Sarvakala Kritam Manye. He's telling this is because influence of the inevitable time. Kala. Kalo Asmi Bharatarshava. Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita, So this Kal is important. Nobody has control over this. Sometimes a big sports star, a big movie star, this and that, they just, get some disease or, whatever happens, and everything is gone because of the influence of time. You have no control. Just as wind controls the clouds. When this wind comes, we see the clouds moving. They have no control in themselves. It just moves according to the, the influence of the wind. Vayo riva ghanavali, Sarvakala kritam manye bhavatam cha yada priyam sapalo yadrishe loko. So, sapalo yad sadrishe loko. He's telling everyone in this planet is carried out because of this influence of time, because of this kala. Like Vayoriva Ghanavali. So Prabhupada says in maybe fourth, fifth line, you see, Kala. Everybody is controlled by the supreme Kal. And then he uses the word, a forceful representative of the Supreme Lord. A forceful representative. Krishna comes, as Kal, and he takes away. Sometimes our near and dear ones, sometimes some disease, sometimes our position goes, forceful representation of the Lord, Kal. And he makes his presence in such a way that we can't alter it, we can't recover it, we can't, bring the situation back. It just happens, So, somebody becomes bedridden. Oh, it was so nice. We say, what happened? Immediately, he became bedridden, like this. So, I am the destroyer of everything, Krishna says. So, forceful representative of the Supreme Lord. And, you must have heard recently about Narada Muni's story of his past life. He recently served these 4 Bhakti Vedantas very nicely. And then his mother died, because of snake bite. What is this, oh Lord? Narada Muni must have cried, must have, blamed Krishna, must have done many things, but no, this is the plan of a Lord. Time, influence of time. So take it positively. And Krishna wanted, this is good for Narada and his mother also. He gave good destination to mother, and for Narada, this is very good, He left home, he went to the forest, always meditating, and then when running, moving, walking, he was tired. Then he sat, he took bath, he took little water and sat and meditated. Lord, showed him once darshan, and then he said, now some more time, and then, and then next time he became Narad Muni. So the point is Kala. It is influence of time. Oh, Yudhishthir, don't worry, it is not your fault. 15th verse, it is not your fault. Otherwise, if it is not the time factor, then how can it possible? Like it is said, he's telling it is inevitable time. How can time influence the pure devotees? We can think of. Because they are pure devotees, they are so powerful. Yudhishthir is son of religion and this and that. So the next verse he says, no one can understand the plan of the Lord. No one can understand the plan of the Lord. It's inconceivable. Who knows? He will tell later. But right now he's telling, just accept. When we don't understand anything, we should just accept. You can't change. You can't go to the Prime Minister and change some rule, You have no right, you have no accessibility. So where there is no possibility, you should just accept. And what needs to be accepted? This. You are now an appointed king. Take care of your citizens. That's it. Don't worry so much. Accept the Lord's inconceivable plan. And that is verse number 16. O king, no one can know the plan of the Lord. Even though great philosophers inquire exhaustively, they are bewildered. So devotees accept the plan of the Lord, happily. What happened? This Dhruva, he was, when his brother was killed by Yaksha, what he thought? I will kill all the Yaksha family. And then Lord Swayambhu came. No, just already accept it. Don't go and do all this, killing of all the Yakshas. And he accepted. Okay, that's the will of the Lord. So Arjuna also did not want to do the fight, but when Krishna explained, no, this is required, so he did it. So whatever is Lord's plan, accept it. Therefore, Yudhishthira Maharaj, don't now, lament. Whatever has happened, it is will of the Lord. It's Lord's plan. Every time we will not be able to understand the Lord's plan, but just accept it and act accordingly. Prithu Maharaj's story you will hear later. He was doing yajnas. 99 he did and almost going to 100. And then Brahmaji came and specified, no, don't go for 100. Better be peaceful. He stopped. Okay. He said, oh, one only is left. Let me do 100. No. Whatever is said, just accept. And we should accept the plan of the Lord. And then 17th verse he says, I maintain therefore, Krishna says, O best among the descendants of Bharata, Yudhishthir, I maintain that all this is within the plan of the Lord. Accepting the inconceivable plan, you must follow it. You are now an appointed administrative head. You should just take care of the subject. So sometimes in our life also, the speed breakers come when we drive. Does the speed breaker come to spoil our vehicle or to make us late in our exam or our office or something? No, it comes for our betterment, so that we don't end up in accidents. The speed breakers remind us to drive slow. So if something is coming in our life, it is some reminder for you. Just accept it as Lord's plan and move ahead. So next verse is number 18. He says, oh, somebody can read 18th verse.
Priya Satyabhama Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. This Sri Krishna is no other than the inconceivable original personality of Godhead. He is the first Narayan, the supreme enjoyer, but he is moving amongst the descendants of King Vrishni just like one of us, and he is bewildering us with his self-created energy. Hi, Krishna.
Next one also. 19.
Yes, Mataji. O King, Lord Shiva, Narad, the sage amongst the demigods, and Kapila, the incarnation of Godhead, all know very confidentially about his glories through the direct contact.
Okay, thank you. Many things here. So Sri Krishna is no other than inconceivable original personality of Godhead. This Bhishma Dev is telling. Like yesterday, Kunti Maharani was telling, Namaste Purusham Tvadyam. So Bhishma Dev is telling, better you follow your duties and accept the Lord's plan. Lord's plan are inconceivable. Till now we saw that. And then one might ask, Lord's plan is inconceivable. It's okay, I understand. But Lord is standing here, na? We can ask his plan from him only. He's standing right away here. So Bhishma Dev is telling, it is inconceivable and he will not tell. See, he is roaming around like a normal human being among all of us. He will not tell that he is Bhagwan. That's what he's telling. It is all inconceivable. But he is Sri Krishna, the original, personality. He is the first Narayan. But he's moving amongst all of us as a descendant of King Vrishni, just like one of us. He will not tell that I am Lord. So this is bewildering. He is bewildering, This Indra got bewildered and then Govardhan Leela happened. Brahma Vaman Leela. Brahma got bewildered, Nobody can understand. And he is nice, sweet boy. He's just, running around eating butter and, he does not reveal and say that I am Bhagwan. But Bhishma Dev says, he is the supreme Lord. He is Lord, Bhagwan, not Narayan. So, but he's just roaming around here. And then, see, Bhishma Dev is so nice. He's consoling Yudhishthira Maharaj. He's trying to explain him. And especially in this case, he's remembering that you have gone through so many difficulties, but just accept it as Lord's plan. So he's so much worried about Yudhishthira and Kunti, and he himself has gone through so much in their life. So this is devotee's quality, Whatever he has gone through, he's not remembering that. He's seeing others. Para dukha dukhi. Yudhishthira Maharaj is explaining all these calamities you came through. But see, 456 years he lived just for this sake. Brahmacharya, no enjoyment, just supporting with all these people, Karna and Duryodhan and Shakuni and all of this. Such a painful life. And now in bed of arrows, but he is worried about the sons, their pain. So that is the devotee. And moving ahead with this point that Krishna is original Narayan, but he moves, among us like a normal human being. He does not reveal himself. So, from where to know? Yudhishthira Maharaj may ask. From where to know about this Lord? If he does not tell, it is inconceivable. From where to know then? So then Bhishma Dev says this next verse, we need some address, some phone number where we can go and ask and find out where is Krishna, what is his attribute, how can we find, So his name, address is given in this 19th verse, and Bhishma Dev is telling, Devarshi, Narada, Kapila, he just took few names. But we know where is this address and the phone number, Srimad Bhagavatam 6.3.20. We all know this shloka. 6.3.20, where it is said about the 12 Mahajans. Right? 6.3.20 is the address where you will find about him. About him means those persons who know about him. So these 12 Mahajans, Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manu Prahlado Janko Bhishma Balir Vayasakir Vayam. Who said this? Sixth canto is Vayam. Balir Vayasaki Vayam. You know, all these people and me. So this is said by Yamraj.
Yamaraj.
Yes.
Yamaraj.
Correct. He is listing all these people they know, because when there was a discussion between Yamraj and Yamdut, oh, what you told, we went to take Ajamil in this, we should do this. So what is the principles, you know? So he was teaching all these things and he said, this 12 Mahajans are there. I'm not the only authority. You know, I'm your authority, oh Yamdutas, but I'm not the only authority, you know. So he tells these 12 Mahajans are the authority who knows the inconceivable plan of the Lord. And here Bhishma Dev is not telling about himself, though his name is there, right? Swayambhu, Narada, Shambhu, Kumaro, Kapilo, Manu, Prahlado, Janko, Bhishma. Bhishma is there, but he's not taking his name. And that's the devotee quality. He does not glorify himself. So he's telling Kapila, Narada and all these things, right? All these 12 Mahajans. Next, verse number 20. Let's read 20 and 21 and 22, all three.
Rastraman Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Text 20, translation. O king, that personality whom out of ignorance only you thought to be your maternal cousin, your very dear friend, well-wisher, counselor, messenger, benefactor, etc., is that very personality of Godhead Shri Krishna. Text 21st, translation. Being the absolute personality of Godhead, he is present in everyone's heart. He is equally kind to everyone, and he is free from the false ego of differentiation. Therefore, whatever he does is free from material inebriety. He is equibalanced. And text 22nd, translation. Yet, despite his being equally kind to everyone, he has graciously come before me while I am ending my life, for I am his unflinching servitor.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. 20, 21, 22 says, out of ignorance, you are thinking this is your, cousin or your messenger and counselor and this and that, but this is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And 21st verse, Krishna is Sarvatmana Samadrisho. Sarvatmana. He is present in everyone's heart. And Samadrisho, he is equally kind to all. And he is faultless, unahankarata, free from all material identification or any false ego. He's equibalanced. And, there's one thing, 21 is this. Bhishma Dev, he remembered this beautiful form of Rajsuya sacrifice. When Rajsuya sacrifice was done by Yudhishthira Maharaj, Krishna, they all selected Krishna to be the main person, right? And there were 2-3 times happened. So one time Krishna wanted to, do some seva also. Everybody, Yudhishthira Maharaj assigned everybody some seva. You look after guests, you look after kitchen, this. Krishna said, I want also some seva. So Yudhishthira Maharaj said, every seva is gone. This is done, So he himself took some seva, arranging for the shoes or taking the plates when everybody is done, So he likes to do some service. So here he is, he's already present in everyone's heart. He's equally kind to everyone. He's free from false ego. When we have some position, this is our ego. How can I do that? Especially in material world, how can I, do this in front of everyone? But see here, Krishna, he himself is serving. He is free from false ego. Oh, what will other person think? Is he really God? He's doing like this? Oh, no, he's doing. And he's happy doing that. Verse number 22, despite his being equally kind to everyone, now Bhishma Dev says, He has graciously come before me while I'm ending my life. While I'm ending my life. So this is his last moments now. Right? For I'm his unflinching devotee. Abhi, who devotee says that I am Lord's devotee? I am his unflinching devotee. I am his unconditional devotee. You know, which devotee say like that? Nobody says like that. And Bhishma is, and we say if a devotee is telling I am a pure devotee of Lord, that means he is not a devotee. We hear like this. And Bhishma is a pure devotee, and he is telling like this. So this teaching is where it is wrong. You know, somewhere there is a problem. We have to understand it. For I am his unflinching servitor. See, there are many sages and big people around there. And it is said there are thousands of people, you know, who came to see Bhishma Dev. Only 20 people name is mentioned. We cannot mention all the names. Otherwise, 18,000 verses will go in these names only. But the point is, many great sages are there. And they will think, oh, Bhishma Dev is telling, while I'm ending my life, he has graciously come before me. So the sages will think, oh, this Krishna is cousin of Pandavas, and Bhishma is the elder, the grandfather of Pandavas. So they are their relatives, therefore Krishna has come. Krishna might not come when we leave our body. To clear that point, Bhishma Dev is telling, he has come because I am his unflinching servitor. That means whoever is his sincere devotee, he will come for them. Not because he is related to me, you know, cousin of Pandavas. It is not because of that. Because I am his devotee, I never forgot him, you know. I always remembered him. I served him. You know, Bhishma Dev is in Dasi Rasa. And in secondary Rasa, he is in Virya Rasa. Krishna wanted him to fight on the other side. And he fought. We will see that Chakrawala scene. So that was the Krishna's desire. He is fulfilling that in Virya Rasa. So he is his unflinching devotee. He is mentioning that. So it is not for other sages Krishna will not come because other sages will say we don't have any family or children or pota-poti, you know, or grandchildren like that. So does that mean no? If you are a devotee, Krishna will come. And Prabhupada explains it very nicely. So let's move to text number 23.
Is this Radha Krishna Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna. The personality of Godhead who appears in the mind of the devotee by attentive devotion and meditation and by chanting of the holy name releases the devotee from the bondage of fruited activities at the time of his quitting the material body. 24.
Okay.
May my Lord, who is four-handed and whose beautifully decorated lotus face with eye as red as rising sun is smiling, kindly await me at that moment when I quit this material body.
Yes, thank you. So he said, because I am his unflinching devotee, and then he said, how one can become a devotee? Bhaktyaveshya mano yasmin vachayanam kirtayan. By doing kirtan, by chanting his glories, by discussing his pastimes, you know. So, Tejan Kalevaram Yogi Muchyante Kama Karmabhi. So, how we become Lord's devotees? Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam. This process. Remembering in him, you know, chanting and glorifying him. And Lord says to Narada also, Naam Tishtanti Vaikuntha. He says that. Now, Vaikuntha, I don't stay in Vaikuntha. You know? I don't stay in Yogi's heart. I stay where the kirtan is going on. Right? So here also is the same Vachayan Nama Kirtayan, he is telling. Tatra Tishtami Narada Yatra Gayanti Mad Bhakta. Lord Krishna is telling, oh Narada, I stay where my devotees chant my glory. So he is giving this process. Anyone can become a devotee by following this Shravanam Kirtanam. And then 24th verse, Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam. Let him wait for me at the time of death. So he is not ordering Krishna or, you know, something like this. May he wait for me. He's kind of, you know, if some program is going on in our house, some yajna or something, and if some senior devotee, somebody comes, yes, Prabhu, please come. This is going to just finish, you know, we are going to be done with the yajna. and then please, I would like you to please stay till prasad. You take prasad and go. So that's what Vishwadev is in this mood. I'm remembering, I'm praying for you. You please wait till I leave my, my body. So may he wait for me at the time of my death. So Bhishmadev wanted to see Krishna in his beautiful form of Partha Sarthi, and that is his, we all have some deities to whom we are very much attached. Radha Ladli Lalji, Radha Shyam Sundar, or Radha Govind Ji. To some deity we are very much attached, and as we grow, it really is revealed. We have exchanges with the deities, and we are very much connected to that deity. So here, Bhishmadev is so much connected to Krishna in the form of Partha Sarthi, and that's why Krishna came as Partha Sarthi now also, even after the war was over. So Bhishma wanted to see that form. So he's telling, let him wait till the time I leave. And what form he wanted? He wanted to see that Partha Sarthi in the four-handed form, So that's verse number 24. May that four-handed form, whose beautifully decorated lotus face with eyes as red as rising sun is smiling, kindly await me. So verse number 25, Sutta Goswami says something now. Next.
Rai Ramanand Prabhuji.
You can say 25 and 26. Please ask.
Who?
Prabhuji, we are not able to hear you, Rai Ramanand Prabhuji. Mataji, he is speaking, but we are not able to hear. We call your name again, Prabhuji. Somehow we are not able to hear you. Drupati Champakleta Mataji. Rupavati Champakleta Mataji. Rukmini Priya Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Yudhishthira, after hearing Bhishmadev speak in that appealing tone, asked him in the presence of all the great rishis about the essential principles of various religious duties. Next verse, 26 number. At Maharaj Yudhishthira's inquiry, Bhishmadev first defined all the classifications of castes and orders of life in terms of individuals' qualifications. Then he systematically, in twofold divisions, described counteractions by detachment and interaction by attachment. Thank you.
Yeah, maybe two more. Next two.
Okay, okay, Mataji. 27. He then explained by divisions, acts of charity, the pragmatic activities of a king, and activities for salvation. Then he described the duties of women and devotees, both briefly and extensively. Next shloka, number 28. Then he described the occupational duties of different orders and status of life, citing instances from history, for he was himself well acquainted with the truth. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, thank you. So we read till 28. So here, Krishna asked Yudhishthira Maharaj, or Yudhishthira Maharaj was inspired by Krishna to ask questions from Yudhishthira Maharaj. That was one of the reasons Lord wanted, because Bhishmadev has just so much knowledge all about Varnashram Dharma, duties, Dan Dharma, Raj Dharma, Moksha Dharma, and at last Bhagavad Dharma, the topmost. So, and another reason is, in front of so many sages, as we discussed actually, in front of so many sages, Lord wanted to show Bhishma Dev, apparently living as a worldly man, is far superior to many, many other great sages. Prabhupada writes in the purport, number 25. There are three reasons he gives, right? First, these Bhishma Dev is living in a kingdom with taking care of all these things, sometimes conquering, fighting, in politics and this and that. But he is far superior than many other great sages. The first thing. So glorification of his devotee. Nice, huh? Second, Lord Krishna wanted to prove that his pure devotees are always sound in body and mind. Although he's in the bed of arrows, but he is very much sound. He remembers everything, and he knows whatever knowledge he has, he's perfect and he can deliver. So that's why Yudhishthira Maharaj asked. And the third point, Lord Krishna, who establishes the glories of his devotees, the father likes the son to be glorified, to be more famous than him. The father likes to see the son become more famous than himself. The Lord declares very empathetically that worship of his devotees is even more valuable than the worship of the Lord himself. So these three reasons Prabhupada gives why he inspired Yudhishthira Maharaj. You ask now, right situation. So many people are standing, my devotee Bhishma will be glorified. He knows so much at such an extreme situation, painful situation also. He is not in the bodily consciousness. He can speak and give such a beautiful knowledge, So Bhishma Dev systematically explained all these dharmas. It's in great detail when we see Mahabharata. When we read Mahabharata, the things are in great detail, So all these dharma of wife and 4 ashrams and all these things. And then he was quoting instances from the histories also. Such a nice thing with examples and everything he was explaining. Next, verse number 29. After explaining all these things, he realized. And what did he realize? Verse number 29.
Rai Ramanand Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Verse 29, translation. While Bhishma Dev was describing occupational duties, the sun's course ran into northern hemisphere. This period is desired by the mystics who die at their will.
Yes, Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita for normal yogis, but here Bhishma Dev, it is said the auspicious time of Uttarayan arrived. Now, what is this Uttarayan? Auspicious time, yes. Bhishma Dev is a pure devotee. For pure devotee, anytime he leaves, he is going back to Godhead. This is sure. He does not have to wait for the auspicious time. Leaving a pure devotee, leaving the body is auspicious. That becomes the auspicious day and time actually. So here Uttarayan means, Acharyas explained very nicely, Uttarayan. He was not waiting for the Uttarayan time to come. He was waiting for the Uttarayan person to come and to, fulfill all his desire and to please the Lord. So Uttarayan here is the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Like we have Narayan. Narayan means, Nar means water. The one who lives in water, who takes shelter of water. Narayan, the name comes. Uttarayan, one who took shelter of Uttara. Can we connect Uttara? Because when in the womb, Parikshit was, there to save Parikshit, Krishna became small like a thumb and went in Uttara's womb. So he took shelter of Uttara, whom? So Uttarayan, and that is one of the name of Krishna, Uttarayan. So that the personality has come, So the auspicious time means this Uttarayan. Krishna is in front. So he was not waiting for the Uttarayan time to come, but the Uttarayan person to come, and that person is Sri Krishna. This is the understanding, our Acharyas gave. It is not the time. Oh, this time only if I die, then I will go back to Godhead. Nowadays, people do the delivery like that. Baby's delivery, cesarean delivery. This time is good. This day is good. Doctor, we fix like that. But with pure devotees, it is all auspicious always. But auspicious is when Krishna is in trance. That is auspicious, whatever time it is. Okay, the next 30th verse.
Thereupon that man who spoke on different subjects with thousands of meaning and who fought on thousands of battlefields and protected it thousands of men stopped speaking and being completely freed from all bondage withdrew his mind from everything else and fixed his wide open eyes upon the original personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who stood before him four-handed, dressed in yellow garments that glittered and shined.
Yes, that glittered and shined. So beautiful Krishna in four-handed form in yellow dress. So he's trying to focus. 31. Verse number 31.
Verse 31. By pure meditation, looking at Lord Shri Krishna, he at once was freed from all the material inauspiciousness and was relieved of all bodily pains caused by the arrow wounds. Thus all the external activities of his senses at once stopped, and he prayed transcendentally to the controller of all living beings while quitting his material body.
Meditating on Krishna purely, he became free from the bodily pains. And Prabhupada writes, identification with the material body, then we get pain. When we forget Krishna, identify with our body, then we are in a bodily platform, then we get all pains. We feel the pain. But for a pure devotee like Bhishma Dev, this illusion was at once removed as soon as the Lord arrived. As soon as the Lord arrived, he was so happy, all the pain was gone. Even as little, we get cut while cutting vegetable, we feel so pain. Here, so many arrows, but all the pain gone by seeing the beautiful face of Krishna. 32nd. From the 32nd verse onwards, this is actually the Bhishma prayer. He's completely focusing on Krishna and glorifying him. So let's read 32.
Bhanuvar Prabhuji.
May I, Mataji?
Yes, Mother. Shall I go or Mata, you want to go?
32. Yeah, please go.
Mataji, I want to sing those prayers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, please. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji. Shri Bhishma Vacha Iti Mati Rup Kalpita Vitrishna Bhagavati Sattvat Pungave Vibhumni Swasukhamupagate Kachit Vihartum Prakritimupeyushiyat Bhava Pravaha.
Beautiful. Thank you. Can you read English also, Mataji, translation?
Yes, Mataji. Bhishma Dev said, let me know, now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which were so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties in the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasures by descending on the material world, although from him only the material world is created.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
Thank you. Beautiful prayer. So let me now invest my thinking, feeling, willing completely. Till now, I was in this worrying, in this conquering, in this politics, in this fight, and all these things. Let me now invest everything on the Supreme Lord Krishna. Vi Trishna. Iti mati rupa kalpite vi Trishna. Free from the desires of anything else, Let me completely focus on Krishna. Exclusively. Nice. And now, this verse we will all sing. Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamala Varanam Ravikara Gauravarambaram Dadhane Vapuravritananabjam Vijaya Sakheratirasthu Menavadya. Somebody else wants to sing? Beautiful prayer. This is meditation. Or you all want to repeat?
Yuditur Garajo Vidumra Vishwa
Somebody 33rd, this one only.
Samavare Lankrita se Mama Nishate Share Vividyamana Tvachi Vilasat Kavachestu Krishna Atma.
Yes, thank you. Any of you or all of you or maybe some of you remember this full prayer? Yeah, please raise your hand if you know all these shlokas of. Wow, yeah, very nice, Rukmani Priya Mataji. Nice. So I would like to recite this verse more. Some of you.
Tribhuvanam Tamal Varnam Ravi Kaur Varambaram Dadhane Vapuralakukala Vritananavjam Vijaya Sakhera Tirastu Me Navadya.
Yes, very beautiful. See, in the battlefield, Krishna is here, Arjuna is at the back, sitting in the chariot, and in front is Bhishma Dev in another chariot. So when this is the situation, Bhishma Dev is able to see Krishna's face from front. Arjuna is able to see Krishna from back, right? Because he is sitting behind in the same chariot. So it is said Bhishma Dev is feeling I was more fortunate to see Krishna in the battlefield because I was seeing him from the front side. So he's remembering that. He's more fortunate, he's feeling. I was able to see Krishna for so long from front. Tribhuvan Kamanam. Tribhuvan is just 3 words. Tribhuvan Kamanam Tamala Varanam. So this Lord is popular in all the 3 words. This Krishna, Tribhuvan Kamanam, he's popular in all the 3 words, and Tamal Varanam, Tamal tree, this bluish color is focusing on. Body is like Tamal bluish, color, sapphire color. Tribhuvan Kamanam Tamal Varanam Ravi Kara Gaura Varambaram Dadane. Ravi Kara Gaur, he's wearing this beautiful yellow silken dhoti, and when the light is falling, sunlight is falling, this dhoti is shining. It's shining beautifully. Ravi Kara Gaur, shining like gold, Gaur. Ravi Kara Gaura Varambaram Dadane. Dadane, his beautiful lotus-like eyes, shining. Vapura Lakakula Vritana Nabjam, lotus-like. Vijaya Sakhera Tirastumena Vadya. So he's remembering all those, beautiful face, shining garlands, shining dress, and his so much, aura, everything. His body attracts everyone in the 3 planetary system, and his yellow dress, lotus face, his transcendental body, and Vapura Lakakul, sandalwood paste. Let this be the object of my attraction. This form, exactly this picture, you see this form. Let this be my attraction. And may I not desire any other thing. This is beautiful. Bhishma Dev is extremely powerful personality. It was not possible for anyone to defeat Bhishma. Once Prabhupada was telling, 25,000 times Arjuna is Bhishma. But he had that much power. That much power he had. So Krishna intervened, how to protect his devotees, both ways. To protect the desire of Bhishma Dev also, to keep his desire, and also to protect Arjuna, he acted in such a way. So, although so powerful, but Krishna also wanted to show this important point that if, how much ever powerful, how much ever good looking, wealthy you are, if you take the wrong side, you will not win. This is an important point. One of the important points Krishna wants to mention. If you take the wrong side, whosoever you are, you will lose. You will not win. Disaster. So, not disaster here because Bhishma Deva is playing a part. So, Arjun cannot defeat Bhishma Deva unless Bhishma Deva helps him. And he goes, how can we do this? Bhishma Deva was happy and then he gave the solution. Bring Shikhandi. This happened in the camp. Let's not go into this detailed story, but it was all the plan of the Lord. 34 number. Let's not sing because we have not that much time. We will try to cover the meaning and we can at home sing ourselves. 34 meaning.
Bhanugaur Prabhuji. Bhanugaur Prabhuji, please read.
Jimadev. On the battlefield where Sri Krishna attacked Arjun out of friendship, the following hair of Lord Krishna turned ashen due to the dust raised by the hoof of the horses, and because of the labor, beads of sweat wetted his face. All these decorations, intensified by the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, were enjoyed by him. Let my mind thus go unto Sri Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So, like we offer Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Bhishma is offering what? Bhishma Dev is a great devotee, and in the relation of servitorship, his throwing of sharp arrows is his worship of the Supreme Lord. He's throwing arrow, no? And some arrow is not all arrows are going to Arjuna. Some are going to Krishna also, and it is hurting also. Hurting means it is hitting, and some blood, transcendental blood is also coming from Krishna's body. So this he is telling. Hair of Krishna was covered by dust. Skin was wounded by sharp arrows. Face was wet with sweat. It looked like Krishna is tired. Sweat is coming. Lord Krishna enjoyed these wounds. And Prabhupada writes here, Bhishma these arrows were as pleasing to the Lord as the biting of a fiancé who bites his lover. So it is not hurting. Let my mind go to Krishna on that battlefield who is looking like this, who has the blood is coming from his transcendental body, who is covered by dust. So his hairs, when dust comes, it becomes brown or something like that. So he's remembering that face. I saw him. So I remember that beautiful face. And this is here Prabhupada is writing. In the servitorship, his mood of Dasya. So he's remembering this form. Let my mind goes to Krishna on that battlefield. Krishna, Bhishma Dev remembers this. And now another, thing he's telling. Verse number 35.
Dhammasikila Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Text 35, translation. In obedience to the command of his friend, Lord Shri Krishna entered the arena of the battlefield of Kurukshetra between the soldiers of Arjuna and Duryodhana, and while there, he shortened the lifespans of the opposite party by his merciful glance. This was done simply by his looking at the enemy. Let my mind be fixed upon that Krishna.
Yes, let my mind be fixed upon that Krishna. He was sitting in the middle, he was standing or sitting in the middle and discussing with Arjuna. Arjuna was confused, so he started giving instructions, and that is all Bhagavad Gita. But all these soldiers and Rathis and Maharathis and everyone was seeing him, having his darshan. So they all got liberated. Not only the people from Arjuna's party, but whosoever was there in that Dharmashetra, Kurukshetra, it is such an auspicious place. So whosoever saw the darshan, had the darshan of Krishna, he got liberated. Krishna released all of them and gave good destination just by his glance. Let my mind be fixed on that Krishna. Krishna is merciful to opposite party also. They all attain salvation. Let my rati for Parthasati increases and go to that, focus in that. Verse number 36.
Deen Pavni Gopriya Mataji.
Text number 36. When Arjuna was seemingly polluted by ignorance upon observing the soldiers and commanders before him on the battlefield, the Lord eradicated his ignorance by delivering transcendental knowledge. May his lotus feet always remain the object of my affection. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Krishna eradicated Arjuna's ignorance when he was confused, bewildered. He, Krishna gave this knowledge, Bhagavad Gita. Every single verse, there is a different, vision, different pastime Bhishma Dev is remembering. Chariot driver giving instruction to Arjuna, or these many soldiers, they are all getting benefited. So every shloka he is meditating on some particular incident, pastime and form. So this is where you removed all the ignorance of Arjuna, and then he was Nashtamoho Smritir Labdva. He got cleared and then he followed. May the object of my attraction be that lotus feet. 37 verse number and 38 both.
Jagat Mata Shachi Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Just a moment. Can I read the next one?
Jia Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Text 38 or 37?
Both, 37 and 38.
Both. Okay. Translation. Fulfilling my desire and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up its wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly. Just like a lion goes to kill an elephant, he even dropped his outer garment on the way. May he, Lord Shri Krishna, the personality of Godhead who awards salvation, be my ultimate destination. On the battlefield, he charged me as if angry because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. His shield was scattered and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, fulfilling my desire and sacrificing his own promise. What was the promise of Krishna which he sacrificed?
He will.
Krishna took some promise before the war, before the war started. And that promise was?
He will not take weapons on the battlefield.
Will not lift weapons on the battlefield. Correct. So here, when Bhishma Dev is trying, in earlier verses, Prabhupada told this story about Duryodhan was angry. And Duryodhan went to the camp of Bhishma. What you are doing? They are killing all our people and you are not so far has killed any of the single Pandavas. So Bhishma said, okay, tomorrow I'll kill all 5 Pandavas with just 5 arrows. But give these 5 arrows, I will take care of them and give you tomorrow morning. Okay. And Krishna understood this. So Krishna sent Arjuna. When Arjuna went, Arjuna is the younger brother of Duryodhan. So in hospitality, he asked, yes, Arjun, come, what can I do for you? He said, give me that 5 arrows. Now he said, I will, what can I do for you means tell me what. So he has to follow. He gave those 5 arrows. In the morning, when Bhishma asked, okay, give me now, I'm going. I'll kill all the 5 Pandavas today. Until and unless Krishna comes in between. Until and unless he breaks his vow, today Pandavas are over. Nobody can save Pandavas. So this is the incident. This was Bhishma's desire that Krishna break his vow. So there are 2 devotees here, Arjuna and Bhishma. Both are devotees, Arjuna, he has to protect Arjuna. Because he said, Kante pratijane name bhakti prayashati. Every devotee he saves. And here Bhishma Dev, he has to fulfill his desire also. And he has to keep his vow also. He He said, right, until Krishna does something in between, Pandavas will not be saved today. So sacrificed his own promise. I don't care, Krishna says. He got down from the chariot, whatever he found. There was a broken chariot wheel, broken chariot, and there was a wheel of that chariot. He just took away and ran hurriedly towards Bhishma. And Bhishma was happy. He's seeing this, He got down from his chariot. He's accepting this. Yes, Krishna. He wanted to let my gati be that Lord Mukunda, who do whatever is required to save his devotee. Here Arjuna is telling Krishna, please don't break your vow. I will kill, Bhishma. Please don't go. No. Krishna is just leaving. And in the next verse, we did 37 and 38 we read. Yeah. So while moving, he was so angry that on the battlefield, he charged me as if angry because of wounds dealt by my sharp arrows, but it was not his anger. It was the desire of Bhishma Dev. His shield was scattered and his body was smeared with the blood due to the wound. And then I think the next verse it will come that, his outer garments also fell. He was running so hurriedly that he was not caring for his things, he was just like a lion goes, to attack. He was running like that. He could have easily killed Sudarshan Chakra, like Shishupal. He could have done that. But no, he did not wanted to kill Bhishma Dev. He wanted to show him what darshan he wanted. What vow he took to break his vow, to see him taking the weapon. So he did like that. So, next verse number 39.
Jagat Mata Shachi Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with the whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained their original forms after death.
Yeah. So this is another beautiful form. He is remembering in the battlefield, Arjuna was sitting behind, Krishna was, driving his chariot and whip in his right hand and reins on the left hand. So see, nicely. He is remembering that form. Carefully protecting Arjuna's chariot. And then Prabhupada says, those who saw him on the battlefield attained their original form after death. So it said, those who saw Krishna with envy, the opposite party, with envy, they went to Brahma Jyoti. Those who saw Krishna with the feeling that he is the master, he is the Swami of everybody, they went to Vaikuntha. And those who saw Krishna with great love, with some relationship as a friend, they went to Golok Vrindavan. So the three kinds of destinations, all of them got their Sarupa, whatever they wanted, simply by seeing Krishna. This beautiful form of Krishna with the whip in the right hand and reins on the left hand. And then Krishna might say, oh, you are so much glorifying Arjuna. Is Arjuna the best of the devotees? So Bhishma Dev is telling, no. He's pure devotee, but the best devotee is this gopis. Gopis are the best devotees, but I don't have qualification to be like that. He's in his humble position, he's telling. But these gopis are the best devotees. So let's read verse number 40. Somebody first, number 40. I think we will do it on time today.
Text 40, translation. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Shri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the damsels of Vijdhama, the gopis. The damsels imitated the characteristic movements of the Lord after his disappearance from the Ras dance. Hare Krishna.
Yes, the gopis' love is the topmost in Madhurya Ras. So Bhishma Dev is telling, yes, that is the topmost. But he is not hankering for that Madhurya Ras. He is happy with the Dasya Ras only. These are different rasas, right? So, because many different shlokas we saw, it's only about Arjuna, Krishna, this and that. So, is Arjuna the greatest of all devotees? To clear that, Bhishma said, no. Gopis are the best devotees. They are the highest. I am not qualified for that level, so I am happy with my Dasya Ras. And then he remembers number 41 verse.
Shikha Mataji.
Yeah.
Priya Satyabhama Mataji.
Sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira. There was the greatest assembly of all the elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders, and in that great assembly, Lord Sri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remembered the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord.
Yes. So now Krishna is remembering that incident, First of all Arjuna and Krishna's in the battlefield he remembered. Then gopis is the best, but I'm happy with my Dasya Ras, but gopis are the best. And you are the lover of the gopis. Gopis never forget you. He was telling, when Uddhava went to pacify them, we know the gopis were so absorbed, matta, pramatta, unmatta, to that extreme, they cannot forget Krishna. They were playing pastimes of Krishna. When Uddhava was telling also something, they were remembering those things like as if they are there, in those pastimes. They were so much absorbed. And then he is remembering, I saw your Agra Puja in this Rashtriya Yajna also. How you were sitting in a big Singhasan, and all the paraphernalia were there. People were worshipping you with all grand, opulent things. So he's remembering that thing also. So Lord Krishna was worshipped as the most exalted at the Rashtriya Yajna. Let me have that, let me have this vision also in my mind. And then at last, 42 verse, what he says. Let's read 42.
Priya Satyabhama Mataji.
Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord, Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart. Even in the hearts of the mental speculators, he is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one.
Yes, and also 43.
Suta Goswami said, thus Bhishma Dev merged himself in the Supersoul, Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions. And thus he became silent and his breathing stopped.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Mataji.
So, he appreciates this Dasya Bhav, and he appreciated the Agra Puja. And now, in 42-43, he is completely focusing on Krishna with his mind, speech, sights, and action. Nothing else. Complete focus on Krishna. The last time. Bhishma Dev merged himself in the Supersoul Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, speech, sight, and actions, and thus he became silent and his breathing stopped. Such a wonderful, glorious departure. He did all his duties perfectly. Yudhishthira Maharaj, who consoled, gave all the teachings. The knowledge transfer should happen from one generation to next generation. That happened in front of the Lord. And so many sages, sages came to take his darshan, and he was feeling, I am blessed that so many, great people have come. I took their darshan. So that is the feeling of a devotee. And then at last, completely focusing on Krishna with everything, And then his breathing stopped. This is Krishna consciousness. That is the goal we all are practicing and wishing and endeavoring for. So Bhishma Deva's glorious departure, passing away of Bhishma Deva. Kiska passing away we keep in the books and keep reading, Just do one time, two time, and then we just we focus on some other thing. But here, passing away of Bhishma Deva every day. Some devotees I know every day they sing this prayer. All these forms, let me remember, And his attachment was to this Parthasarthi form. Krishna as Parthasarthi. That was his lovable attached to this form of Krishna. Verse number 44 to 49, we will quickly read. And then I have something for all of you. So 44 to 49.
Rasraman Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Text number 44, translation. Knowing that Bhishma Dev had merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute, all present there became silent like birds at the end of the day. Text 45th, translation. Thereafter both man and demigod sounded drums in honor, and the honest royal order commenced demonstrations of honor and respect, and from the sky fell showers of flowers. Text 46th, translation. O descendant of Bhrigu, Shaunaka, after performing funeral rituals for the dead body of Bhishma Dev, Maharaj Yudhishthir was momentarily overtaken with grief. Text 47th, translation. All the great sages then glorified Lord Shri Krishna, who was present there by confidential Vedic hymns. Then all of them returned to their respective hermitages, bearing always Lord Krishna within their hearts. Text 48th, translation. Thereafter Maharaj Yudhishthir at once went to his capital, Hastinapur, accompanied by Lord Shri Krishna, and there he consoled his uncle and aunt Gandhari, who was an ascetic. And last one, text 49th, translation. After this, the great religious king Maharaj Yudhishthir executed the royal power in the kingdom strictly according to the codes and the royal principles approved by his uncle and confirmed by Lord Shri Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. So we become sad, yes, when near and dear ones goes away. So, it was a happy moment also. The demigod showered flowers. Then, all the sages glorified Krishna because they understood they all know, of course, but they glorified Krishna, their prayers. And then they returned to their hermitages. Yudhishthir Maharaj and other Pandavas and even the ladies also went, right? That was mentioned in Mahabharata somewhere. So they all then came back. Yudhishthir Maharaj then consoled his uncle and aunt Gandhari and Dhritarashtra, because there's a big loss from their side. All the children died. So he consoled. And then with the permission of Dhritarashtra, with his blessings, he started ruling. And with the approval of Krishna, of course, he started ruling with perfect religious principles. So all this episode, we all should have this, we learn that we should collect blessings. So here Yudhishthir Maharaj and Pandavas went to Bhishma Dev for all these reasons we discussed and to get final blessings so that they can further do their duties nicely, to get the blessings of seniors and our elders in our family. So that's how the chapter ends. Then he started ruling nicely according to the dharma. And this is the last which we want to say. And one more thing is there. So just wait. Yes, somebody can read this.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam 1.9.44. Bhishma Dev, as a pure devotee of the Lord, entered the spiritual realm in one of the Vaikuntha planets where the Lord in his eternal form of Parthasarthi predominates. The love and affection which bind the Lord and devotee are exhibited in the case of Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev never forgot the Lord in his transcendental feature as the Parthasarthi, and the Lord was present personally before Bhishma Dev while he was passing to the transcendental world. That is the highest perfection of life. Thank you very much, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
That is the highest perfection of life. Beautiful purpose. Srila Prabhupada's purpose are so nice. We can clearly understand And then, what is the similarity between Bhishma Dev and Srila Prabhupada? Let's think about it. It gives us a great encouragement when we discuss how these pure devotees, do their things. So what are the similarities? We discussed many things from Bhishma Dev, right? What can we think about his activities, about his passing away, about his, preaching? Yes, Jagat Mata Sachi.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Maji, the most similar thing that I like, the both left their body glorifying the God. Bhishma Deva was preaching, teaching Yudhishthira Maharaj and glorifying the God. And same way, Prabhupada, when Prabhupada left his body, he was also preaching and doing translation of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Right. Yes. Both left their body preaching and teaching Krishna conscious completely. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Rukmani Haritevni Mata.
Mataji, I was also saying this, the same point, that Prabhupada on his on the bed, he was just with a dictaphone when the doctor came, and he was saying that this man is not of this world, because almost everything from last 2 months Prabhupada was not taking anything, and he was just scalped, it was just there. And Prabhupada then even to come to make Prabhupada into consciousness, one of his disciple was rubbing his head so he may come into consciousness, and he was so in Krishna consciousness, so in the this, that at that time also he was just reciting, and Prabhupada wanted to complete the Srimad Bhagavatam, but at the he was somehow we got till chapter 14. So that time also Prabhupada was just simply dictating. He really wanted to give us that thing. And the same with Maharaj with Bhishma Dev, and he completed everything. And this and the both of the things that one. Okay, Mataji, that's it.
Thank you.
Some another devotee.
Thank you so much. Raj Raman Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. So far as my understanding is concerned, Srila Prabhupada never compromised with the principles of Krishna consciousness. Wherever he preached all over the world, he never compromised with the principles. Howsoever, he adjusted the things accordingly, according to the time, country, and circumstances, but he never compromised. Similarly, Bhishma Dev in his whole lifetime always followed his vows and never compromised with the principles. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Nice point. Anyone else? It's a
Mataji,
Yeah,
one more
please.
point, that for Vishnu Dev and for normal we say that Mahajano Yena Gathansa Pantaha, there are 12 Mahajans, and Srila Prabhupada is Srila Prabhupada is I just make a similarity, like Srila Prabhupada is the Acharya. I don't know, Mataji, should I compare or not, but it's like how to the teachings Mahajano Yena Gathansa Pantaha, so he exactly followed the teachings of all 12 Mahajans.
Yes, definitely. Recently we heard about Karam Krishna Maharaj. Karam Karan Maharaj. Yeah, how much he also stopped, eating, just drinking a little bit, and then what his final message, how much they're absorbed. We are practicing like this to reach that stage. So Bhishma Dev and Srila Prabhupada. Bhishma Dev was in the bed of arrows, that means in a painful situation. Prabhupada was also in his bed, and final moments, the body deteriorates. That is the nature of the body. He was also might be in pain, but both of them were in high consciousness of, absorption in Krishna. He was also teaching, and as somebody said, Prabhupada was also translating. And Bhishma Dev was surrounded by so many great sages. They came all around from the world. Prabhupada was also surrounded by so many devotees from all over the world. All the devotees came to see Prabhupada, finally. And to see both of them at the last moment, it is so auspicious, so people came from all around, and as somebody said, till the last moment both of them were glorifying Krishna. And I heard last moment Prabhupada was stopped eating, drinking, whatever, just drop by drop some water devotee was giving, and he was just taking that and translating. Consciousness is so Rajogun, Tamogun, Nityam Bhagavad Sevya, everything he was, devotee was reading the shloka and he was translating. So it was amazing. And then last word is still everything is acting and moving under the will of Krishna. That was some of the last words, And Prabhupada, Bhishmadev left in this Kurukshetra. In the very first verse of Bhagavad Gita, it is said it is not only Kurukshetra, it is Dharma Kshetra. You must have read, the importance of that Kshetra, that Kurukshetra place is Dharma Kshetra. Many people have done the austerities there, and it is a religious place. Dharma will always win there, Therefore, Dhritarashtra was fearful that it is a Dharma Kshetra. That means the one who is doing adharma will not win. He knew the result in the very beginning of the war, but still hope against hope, So that was auspicious place where Bhishmadev left his body. And Prabhupada, where did he live? In Vrindavan during Kartik. Krishna arranged that way. So that is also the similarity between both of them. And Bhishmadev had that Iksha Mrityu. So after finishing all his job, he left peacefully, completely absorbed in Krishna. And here we see in Srila Prabhupada, last disciple asked, what is your last desire, Prabhupada? Srila Prabhupada said, Aur kuch nahi. I'm satisfied. I'm deeply satisfied that I am leaving behind a great legacy of so many Vaishnavas. I have written so many literatures for all the time to come. Now you all take this moment ahead. I am leaving very happily remembering Krishna. So much similarity between. He has done every single drop of blood and sweat and everything Prabhupada has given. Not a single time he was like lazy. Oh, I take rest today. I was reading Prabhupada Leelamas, these days we are reading, So every single day, whichever place he is going, Allahabad, Banaras or New York or Los Angeles, he's getting up and doing morning programs. Encouraging everyone, get up, do all the aartis and chant your rounds. And then he's giving this lecture every day, every single day. On devotees are getting up at 3 or 4. He is getting up at 1 o'clock to write his book because that is the most peaceful time. Otherwise, there are so many things going on. He has to look after, train them, visitors, he has to answer them. 1 o'clock he gets up and writes the book for all of us. So he sacrificed his sleep, his night sleep for giving us this book. We should sacrifice at least our day sleep in reading his book. He has so much emphasized. His books are, the bullets. It will change people's lives. So these are some of the similarities. We are so grateful to Srila Prabhupada for giving access to all these pastimes and giving us this direction. This is the last open book questions. You can note down question number 2 and 3. Or you can take a snapshot maybe. Done?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. So Srila Prabhupada has taught us the way of life, how to achieve the perfection. This chapter shows this in a beautiful series of verses. It shows how to achieve this perfection of life. So thank you all very much. I'm very grateful to all of you. Today also we are 10 minutes late, but I think that is fine.
I would like to thank Mataji from all of us for giving us this wonderful session. And I feel personally that these 2 chapters are like the heart of the Canto 1. There's so much full of nectar. Maharani Kunti's prayers and Bhishma Deva's prayers, and the way you carried that all these verses. It was wonderful with such eloquence. Thank you very much.
I thank each one of you for your kind attention and patience and tolerating me. I'm like little child learning, baby steps taking in this devotional practice. These are so great devotees. So thanks to the authority for giving me this opportunity to be absorbed, giving the chance to once again get absorbed in these pastimes. So thank you all very much, and I wish you good luck for your Shastric studies. This is the essence of our life. It gives so much relishment and pleasure and feeling of satisfaction. I am connected to the Lord. Whenever Srimad Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna, and this we experience when we read this, absorb it, study it nicely in deep. Why this? Why that? How he exchanged with his devotees. So this is so relishing. I wish all of you very good luck, and you get all Krishna's mercy so that you become more and more absorbed with each and every day of your life. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So much, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.